And we're back here once again with another episode of the MSK show. And this is going to be episode 198. So I hope you guys had a great day. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your week that is ahead of you. And in this episode of the MSK show, we are going to be covering two topics just in a little bit here. We're going to be talking about Graham Nolan slamming DC Comics' absolute Bane design, because that basically threw a wrench into the comic book Twitter sphere, and it made everyone just go absolutely insane. And we'll be talking about the Nintendo Switch 2, as Nintendo decided to basically unveil a lot more details surrounding the Nintendo Switch 2, because we already covered this in a video before. And I ended up basically just going like, okay, guys, this is kind of like what the system looks like. This is what it's going to, be for the most part. But then we had a Nintendo Direct today, and basically that revealed way more about the Switch than we actually knew beforehand. Also, keep this in mind, guys, the Nintendo Switch 2 is going to be having a lot of people basically going back and forth on the quality of games and the price of the games, whether it be digital or physical. It's just, golly, man, the Switch 2 reveals today blew up Twitter. I swear everyone was arguing in the same way. Yeah.
Dude, did you see how many people watched that?
Yeah, I did.
They fucked up a YouTube stream. 5 million people between the American and the Japanese versions of that stream were watching it. They got crushed. The audio syncing was fucked up. The video had to turn back sometimes because it got screwed up and missed whole parts and glitched out. Like, YouTube couldn't handle how many people watched that video today. So I knew it was going to be all anybody talked about today. And I didn't have much to say on it. I mean, I have things to say on it, but I wasn't going to go over Twitter about it because it's just like, I know that I'm probably going to wind up with the console, but I'll be straight up. Unless the games are... well, I might wait. I might get it pre-order just to fuck with my kids and not let them play with it. Just let them stare at it. Just like, look, here it is. Go clean your room. I was thinking I might do an unboxing video, then I can write it off at the end of the year, but then to do a reboxing video and put it up and tell my kids they can't play with it.
Gosh, good Lord. I don't even want to live in that future.
Dude, seriously though, it's like everyone's pissed about the games, and I appreciate the articles coming up and showing, look, this is how much games used to actually cost, but at the same time, for the slop and the shit and the crap, with all of the schlug that Nintendo does put out, what it's going to do is it's going to mean that like Nintendo's going to basically sell their first party shit at $80 and it's going to sell, or $70 and it's going to sell, and nothing else will. Nothing else will sell at that price point if it isn't AAA and good. Not even just AAA anymore. It's got to be what people want. So there's going to be studios losing their fucking teeth over it because they're going to sell even less. Like they're going to drop a $70 game that ends up like Dragon Age Veilguard. They're going to lose even more money because even the people who are on the fringes are going to see that price point and say, nah, bro. Nah, fuck it. I ain't playing. Nope.
This is the thing that I think a lot of people just forget when it comes to like Nintendo. Their fan base is like, they're that fan base that will just ultimately complain about literally anything, but they still will always buy their consoles. Like, remember how we talked about this? Like, I think it was a few months ago, there was this reveal about how much like the highest selling game console, the Switch is now the second highest selling console ever. It's sold the most units next to the PlayStation 2. So what's crazy is back when the Switch 2 came out, a lot of people had said very similar things. They were like, man, they really fucked up the Wii U. I hated how basically the Wii U came out and it was really bad. And then they just kind of glossed over it and went to the Switch 2. And then all their fans went and just bought up the Switch because but a lot of them had said they didn't like the Wii U. And a lot of them said they didn't like the way the Wii U was treated. And then Nintendo basically went, yeah, we kind of botched the Wii U. We really didn't know how to innovate on it compared to the Wii. And then they flocked went to buy the Switch.
Nintendo has here's the thing though. Nintendo's got a curse of like the second console, dude. I firmly believe it's what kept them out. Besides all of the shit that went on, like the curse started.
Yeah,
for the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
And all of that shit go down that invented the PlayStation. It fucked them out of an entire generation of games. Nintendo just said, we aren't even here. We're not even trying. We got so fucked by Sony. We're not even in the disc console market ever. And then they came out and they blew it up with the N64.
Mhm.
They had no follow-up. They had no plans for the N64 to be that successful. And they lost a whole nother generation of games. They basically ceded it to, PlayStation 2 and Dreamcast and shit, and they had no follow-up. They just rode the N64 forever.
Yeah.
It was like forever between that and the GameCube. And the GameCube was cursed. Now, today, it is revered, but at the time, nobody fucking cared about any of those games. Mario Sunshine did not get people on the console. Playing it now, I don't mind it, but I can see why. It isn't Mario 64. It wasn't Mario Odyssey, and it wasn't any of the other things that came in between. And then the Wii hit. The Wii was just a souped up version of the GameCube. I mean, it still played GameCube games. It was, you could throw the discs in. It was just a jazzed up.
They had it backwards compatible for a while, and then they made a new version that wasn't backwards compatible. I remember that.
That's because they changed the process or something.
I actually always enjoyed the GameCube. I think the GameCube is one of their best systems they ever made. Honestly,
I do. The thing that was the best on the GameCube was they had the best and one of the first wireless controllers. The Wavebird Wireless was baller. That was probably one of the best wireless controllers at the time, period. I don't care what anybody else was doing.
You know what's crazy, man? People will say the GameCube had no games. Like, I can list 20 games that system. You had both Pokemon games, Pokemon Coliseum, Pokemon XY Gale of Darkness. You had, obviously, good lord, Capcom versus SNK 2. You also had, I never played the Zelda game, so I can't really say that. You had the Spider-Man game.
Wind Waker.
Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man 2. You also had the Dragon Ball Z games. You had the Budokai series on there as well. I think Budokai 2 is better. Budokai 3 was on the PlayStation, but I digress, obviously. There's just so many great games.
I mean, you really had on it?
Who doesn't like Soul Calibur 2? Soul Calibur 2 is fucking pretty good.
That was Nintendo's probably most successful third-party outing.
What was it? Melee? Melee was their highest game.
Melee and Mario Kart, but really think about it.
Paper Mario Sunshine?
You are even remembering more third-party games on the GameCube than first-party. That's why Nintendo didn't consider it a success. They did not have massively popular first-party Nintendo games on that.
Oh yeah.
They had a couple things here and there, but it wasn't their big. It wasn't their big hitters. It wasn't their big IP.
Oh yeah, you're right.
None of that did anything for them. Zelda was good. They hadn't. The biggest thing they had, I think, on the GameCube was Metroid Prime.
Metroid Prime sold a lot. That was a huge one too.
That was the big one they had.
Never into those games, but those games are always popular. Yeah.
Yeah, it sold for them. It moved consoles for them. That was their only. That was their most successful third-party or first-party game. I mean, it was so good that really what they did is they gave it to a shitty development studio that completely fucked it, and they remade the whole game.
I'm forgetting these
two. But it looks
Sonic Adventure Battle 2.
Mm-hmm.
But to be fair,
that's the
Sega Dreamcast, technically. They kind of just ported it over to the GameCube. But if you want to count Sonic Adventure Battle 2, you had Sonic Heroes. That was very good. It's a very well-crafted game. You know, the GameCube had some really great games.
It did, but they were all third-party, dude. And
they were all third-party,
like that.
Yeah.
If they're not first, like, Nintendo makes money on first-party because first-party shit never goes on sale. So those games always sell.
Rarely. Yeah, they recently did a Mario game sale on the Switch, but I found that so disingenuous because we knew the Switch 2 reveal was going to come, and it's like, these games will be backwards compatible anyway, so why are you selling these on a console that's going to be technically outdated anyway? You know what I mean?
Yeah, they should have truncated. If they weren't going to put pre-orders up today, what they should have done is truncated the price of the Switch today. Cut 100 off of it. Like, move your units. Because they're going away. Nobody's buying this at full price anymore. It's just not happening. So move your Switch units out because their stores are going to dump it. They're going to be looking to get more Switch 2, and it's more the hotness.
I have a Switch OLED, and I was like, there's no point in just having this anymore because the Switch 2 is going to be backwards compatible anyway. So every game that I want to play on this, it'll just be over there. Like, because most of the problems that people had with the Switch was mostly the price of the games that are going to be priced. So I think like for digital games, it's going to be like $80 for some titles, and then for the physical titles, it's going to be just 90. Yeah, I don't.
No, it looks like 70. They announced the price for the new Donkey Kong game. Also, really fucking good looking game. Like Nintendo. If Nintendo could just get up off their asses and actually develop all of their IP. You've got Mario, make a Mario game. You got Donkey Kong, make a Donkey Kong game. You got Kirby, you got Zelda, you got Metroid. Put all of your first party into this, and they'll be successful no matter what they're charging. But they're going to have to bring all their first party out. The one thing that they did today, though, that I saw that is a huge success for them, that should have Xbox and Sony, or Microsoft and Sony, quaking in their fucking boots and pissing their pants, realizing that this is what Nintendo really set the bar with today. Not the pricing and the rest of this bullshit. They have an exclusive fucking title from FromSoft. They've got FromSoft's next joint, Dust Bloods, exclusive to the Switch 2. If I read that right, that's huge. FromSoft is the best, biggest, most revered developer out there in games, period, right now. And to have an exclusive from them for the Switch 2, that Sony doesn't have that. Xbox has never had that. Nintendo went out and did what used to be Sony's whole bread and butter. They got an exclusive AAA title, an exclusive third-party AAA title that is an adult-oriented game. That's not going to be for kids. It's FromSoft, dude. It's going to be blood and guts and horror.
Oh yeah,
and all this. So, it's a Souls game. It's Elden Ring, whatever game you remember FromSoft from. That's big, man. That was so big. When I saw that, I'm like, okay, Nintendo just came in here and pissed in Microsoft and Sony's Cheerios and said, they laid it on the table and said, we're Nintendo. We're going to move these consoles, and that game is going to sell like fucking gangbusters at $80 a cartridge. People are going to pay for that.
Oh, another underrated game on the GameCube is that Star Fox game. That was very good. It's a very good game. Also, you had Sonic Riders. That was a great game. You also had the Naruto Clash of Ninja. I think Clash of Ninja 2 is better, but you had that. That was really good. There was some, man, we had a stack of GameCube games growing up. Like those were great.
But they still don't consider a success. And I'll tell you this. Yeah. Then the Wii hit. The Wii was huge. The motion controls were huge. Twilight Princess.
Do you know what's the biggest mishap for the Wii?
Fantastic.
Is actually their highest selling games, which has been the Super Smash Bros. Game. Brawl, if you look back on it now, and to be fair, Brawl was heavily criticized when it came out because obviously being a successor to Melee is just almost impossible. That game sucks in my opinion. I think Brawl is just terrible. An actual game, it's just bad. Like, I remember playing it, comparing it to Melee, and going, wow, this is an actual downgrade in every single way possible. Smash 4 is better than Brawl. I would probably have Brawl as like the worst one that's come out. Probably have Melee, Ultimate, 4, and I would put Brawl there. But Brawl is just unbelievably bad, honestly. Tripping, like insanely overpowered characters to the point where like if someone even was half as good as a character, they would just crush you completely, Like people don't remember how bad Brawl was. Oh my god, you were just not there at the time. Brawl is a terrible game. Like mods make Brawl better, but it should be like gamers should have to mod a game to make it better. Brawl was just completely unbalanced in every single way possible. And people always talk about the Pokemon games,
dude. Bethesda relies on people modding the crap off of their games.
Yeah, because today you had people that were like, well, I'll just go buy a Steam Deck. Well, keep in mind, people, nothing was stopping you from doing that at all. You could just go
except for first-party Nintendo titles that you can only get on
the Switch. Yeah, so I guess now people just want to have a Steam Deck and a Nintendo.
Oh
Switch
yeah,
too. That's kind of really.
I mean, that's going to probably be kind of where it ends up going. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Like, there's a lot to take away from it. There's a lot. Like, I understand people being frustrated, and like I said, what it's going to do, it's going to make Nintendo a premium console that people are they're not going to move as many units of games. This is what's going to happen. Games get more expensive unless it's the first party Nintendo shit, and I'm talking the AAA first party. None of this Zelda Calamity game stuff, but I'm talking the mainline games. They're going to move those at $70, $80, whatever, $69.99. Those are going to move. You're going to see Dust Bloods. Absolutely, that's going to move. That's going to move at 60, 70, $80, whatever. People want to play the next Souls-like, period. So they're going to be there for that. If it's exclusive to Nintendo, that's where people will be getting it at. But when it comes to games like
we get to
nobody's
the topic,
paying...
I'll point out before we get to the Nintendo topic later on, the one thing that I just couldn't stand about it that got revealed today was that a PS5 and an Xbox Series X, I know you have the Xbox, I have the PS5 coming very soon. Those have base minimum, a terabyte of space. Base minimum.
Yep.
I find it so disrespectful that their console is going to have 256 of gigabyte storage.
That's
256? That means those games better take like 4 gigs of space up max if we're going to have gigs that low.
It's probably
gigs that low? Come on.
I can't believe that they didn't build more storage into the dock or build like an SSD slot for the dock. That's what they really needed.
They do, but this is the thing though. You shouldn't have to get an SD card for that. Yeah, like you shouldn't have to get an SD card for more space. First of all, the base gigabyte of the system should be 500 minimum. Maybe not a terabyte if you want to go that far.
Yeah,
it should be at least 500. 256. Well, this is the thing, that's dude. Disgusting.
You can buy those SD cards in a terabyte. So yeah, they could have fit a terabyte of storage in there. It is crazy that they've done that. I do appreciate that the base screen is doing 1080p 120. That's going to be really nice to look at. That's going to look good. 4K when you're in docking mode, also good with that. I like seeing Metroid at 4K 60. That's going to work. That's going to be nice. I'm here for it. Let's go. I'm concerned about the upgrades and some other things, but I mean, it's going to be Nintendo's looking to make max money on it, and I think that Rockstar is going to really try to push for GTA 6 at 100, and I think they're going to lose. I think they're going to lose their ass on it. Like, there's going to be people that get it, but I'll never touch that game. Like, I can wait years before having to get that, and then it'll hit Steam for $30, and I'll buy it.
Or Black Friday.
This is the same thing with the Switch.
Black Friday games are heavily discounted on most of the time.
I'll never touch even the first party stuff. I may get a Switch, and I might get Mario Kart. I won't do their digital combo bullshit. I don't buy digital. Fuck your digital games. But I might pay upfront to get the Mario Kart World one. I might spend the money on that at full price to get a game on it. But then I'm not going to touch shit till everything's on sale. Because I never buy games unless they're on sale. I don't touch Steam unless a Steam sale is going on.
Oh yeah, sure.
That's when I get it. So yeah, does it bother me that they're charging that much? Yes, but I'm never going to pay for it. I'll go to Costco.
Also, this is the thing that I've always factored in too.
Drop at Costco for like $30 cheaper.
This is the thing that I've always factored in too. I always kind of factor it in of one of two things. I think of it like cost of investment versus time length of getting use out of the product. So like when people say I'm paying $80 for this game, well, if this console is going to have a lifespan of almost 10 years, you've gotten way more use out of that $70 than you think, right? So it's like when I tell people, when you buy a PC, right? You buy a PC for like $900,000 for like the tower, right? And people go, that's a lot of money. It is a lot of money. But if you factor in how long you will have that actual PC, it doesn't matter how much money you paid for. You're getting all the miles of use out of it. So if you pay like $100 for GTA 6 coming up, that game's going to be played for 10, 12 years at this point. Your kids will be like literally basically almost done with school by the time that game even cycles out to be Grand Theft Auto 7. So you kind of consider, I put $100 down right here. If I get to play this game for 10 years, it's like that. To me, in my personal opinion, I think people overrate that a little bit. You get so much time on that game in 10 years.
You do. But like, this is the thing, though.
But the problem that people have is the microtransactions and the buggy games that come out. So if it's buggy and it needs patches constantly and it's DLC transactions, I understand that. That's understandable.
That's exactly why I don't pay full price. And that's why, for the most part, I get stuff on Steam. I'm going to go there and I'm going to get it when it's on sale. You can release it at whatever price you want. I'm not going to be there for an $80 day of game release. Like I can't even think of a game that I would spend that much that I need to have it on day of, that I couldn't wait 3 months, 6 months, whatever. Because like, dude, let's see. Let me look at this really quick. I'm gonna. Oh shit! I was trying to bring up my Steam thing. Like, see here. Let's look at let me blow up my library here. Let's see if I can bring this up. This is what I have to deal with already. I don't even need like a new game. I have shit to play.
There's a lot of shit.
Damn constantly.
Backlogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The backlog is huge. I mean, it's it's wild just how much stuff I have to constantly be playing. That it's like, why would I need to do anything? Like look at this.
There's so many games.
Boom. Starting at the top, still scrolling to the top. Let's get there. All right, here we are.
How many do you have in total? Don't you have like about 150 games on there for the Steam?
I am 3. God damn, I almost want to go buy 3 right now. I am 3 games away from 300. By the end of this week, there will be 300 games in this backlog. Want to know how many of these games I've finished?
Out of 299? Well, so you 3 away. So you have 297. So How many have you basically 100% completed? Has to be almost like 20 of them, maybe 50 max.
Maybe 20.
Maybe 20. Yeah.
Yeah. Any of them that could be 100%. A lot of them I've finished, but I haven't 100%ed them. But like, look at this, dude. I'm still rolling to the bottom. We made it to S. Bro, I just got Ghost of Tsushima the other day.
That's the other problem with Nintendo that people forget. If Nintendo starts bringing over, because you know how for the Switch 2 and coming up with like the PS6 and whatever Microsoft's going to have for their next console, a lot of these games aren't even going to be exclusive anymore. Only beside Nintendo stuff. Nintendo is actually going to have Xbox and PlayStation stuff on their console actually, because Xbox the main president already admitted they want to have it cross-gen. They don't care about exclusivity anymore. Sony's probably end up going to be dipping into that as well. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like Nintendo actually gets a huge benefit from this new generation coming up, because the problem with their system was people like, well, I don't really like buying Nintendo console because I kind of like the games on Xbox and PlayStation. Well, if the Switch has PlayStation and Xbox games, then that's just only going to boost their sales up. It's actually more benefit to them, because the Switch today is going to have Elden Ring or Elder Scrolls, whatever the fuck it's called. It's going to have Bloodborne. All those games people like on the PlayStation and Xbox are going to be over there. So you're like, oh, I can play this on the go too, because PlayStation doesn't have anything portable yet. Yep. They have a portable
Elden Ring on a handheld, which you can do on a Steam Deck, but and then on top of that, if I somehow ran out of Steam games, I'll just roll over here into my ROMs folder, look at my N64 catalog. Guys, I'm good for a while. So yeah, charge as much as you want for the games. I've got more than I'll play before I retire.
Oh, well, Steam Deck. I don't know why people just don't get a Steam Deck. Literally, it's just a better Switch. Yeah, a Steam Deck OLED or a base Steam Deck is just way better than a Switch 2. But I understand why people have a Steam Deck versus both. Yeah,
the peak base Steam Deck right here. I didn't go to get the OLED right after because I was pissed that they came out with it so soon. I'm like, I just fucking got this. Fuck you guys. But no.
Would you like that? Do you play it?
Oh yeah, I'm playing Chrono Trigger on it right now. I lay in bed at night, like before I go to bed, doing a couple, battles.
Okay, so Chrono Trigger. You turn it on, it charges, you charge it up, and you just download games off Steam, right? That's it?
Yep.
That's it?
Okay. No, dude, it works as a mini PC. I could download them off the Epic Game Store if I wanted. I just go into desktop mode.
So would you say that's better to have than a Switch 2 then? Since you have that?
I mean, it depends. Now, if you're a big first-party Nintendo person and you want the first-party Nintendo shit, you don't have a choice. If you just want a game on the go and you're a bit more techie, you don't even have to be techie with this, but you can be. You can switch it into desktop computer mode. I could dock this, plug it into my monitor, plug a keyboard into it, and play on it.
Can you stream off that?
Like a PC. I think I might be able to. You actually touched on a good point. I was going to see
Nick Phoenix Press. He has a Steam Deck. He streams off of it. I don't know how to. Ours.
He does
have one. I don't know how to stream off those. I'm pretty sure you can. Pretty sure you can stream off those.
Well, you've got a USB-C port up here. If you've got the right dock, I could probably 3D print something that would hold the dock too.
You need to get a capture card, I'm pretty sure, right?
No, I could just stick my camera on there and stream the game. I can install Linux OBS, bro. I can just go to Rumble Studio on the browser.
I need to save up for one of those. I need to get one. I want one so bad.
I would do it, dude. Yeah, but I'll try to work on figuring it out. But yeah, dude, I can play Pal World on here.
Ooh.
Been in that. Doing a bit of that lately.
How about downloading Dragon Age: The Veilguard? I'm pretty sure BioWare is going to need some of those sales.
No, I heard if I downloaded Dragon Age: The Veilguard, they actually make me cut off my Joy-Cons. So, like, I want to keep the joysticks on here. So no, I'm not doing that. Sorry, EA.
Well,
not gonna trick me.
Let's get into some of these fun topics around here. Because talking about video games is very fun, and I can't wait to get to the Nintendo Switch 2.
Bro, we were already in a topic, man.
Are you saying you want to be inside me, sir? All right.
No.
I had sex with green-haired anti-liberal in my dreams, actually. You know? Allegedly.
Probably in your dreams. You can keep
dreaming. Billy, how many times I told you not to call here and interrupt my kung fu?
I miss that guy. That guy was class act all the time. He never phoned it in anything he ever did. Never phoned it in.
Nope. Always great.
Well, let's have some fun here, boys. Hey, everyone. I am MSK, a.k.a. Master Swag King, coming at you guys today with another video. And if you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about Graham Nolan slamming DC Comics' absolute Bane design. So we're going to have me butt fuck your mom and then have sex with your grandma and have a threesome with your grandma, mom, and sister. I almost had you guys there.
Gotta entertain the crowd right there, MSK.
I have to entertain, guys. I'm joking. Okay. All jokes aside, we're gonna start slamming down
all
some
jokes aside. All jerks aside. All jerks.
I never had sex ever.
Hey, look at that! Look at that! No shit!
You know, I'll never understand in Jaws 4 how she stabbed the shark. And then she had a flashback to what her husband said in Jaws 1 when he killed the shark. How would she even know he... And then she memorized his exact words, too. Crazy. But nevertheless... Yep. Hey, everyone. I am MSK, a.k.a. Master Swag King, coming at you guys today with another video. And if you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about Graham Nolan slamming DC Comics' absolute Bane design. So, Graham Nolan is the co-creator of the Batman villain Bane. And as you guys know, Bane first appears in the Nightfall arc for DC Comics' iconic hero, Batman. And actually, Bane is one of the most iconic Batman villains out there. And what's crazy about Bane is that Bane actually came way later into Batman's continuity. And despite him coming way later in Batman's continuity, very, very similar to Spider-Man for Marvel Comics, actually, Bane ended up actually being one of Batman's most powerful adversaries. He's actually been a very much different villain for the Dark Knight in several different key aspects that his other villains cannot be. As of like, you know, some of Batman's villains are very strong in one aspect, but lack in other aspects. So like Bane specifically, like high intellect. Bane is also very strong. Bane's also a really intellectual tactician. Well, a lot of Batman villains kind of lack in a lot of those areas too. So like, let's say the Riddler. Riddler is a character that's very smart, right? But not very physically imposing. Whereas like, I liked what Chuck Dixon and Graham Nolan did when they made Bane, where he was like, okay, he's a combination of a lot of different aspects of other villains actually. And that physical imposing strength definitely makes him a threat for the Dark Knight. I mean, if you've ever played Arkham Origins, which I personally think is the best depiction of Bane ever, that really right there in that game shows you that Bane is definitely a Batman villain you do not want to mess with. And Graham Nolan, who was the co-creator of the character, actually ended up slamming the design of Absolute Bane. So in the Absolute universe, if you guys don't actually know this, DC Comics finally ended up making their own like Ultimate Universe, very similar to like Marvel Comics' Ultimate Universe, and Marvel Comics is now on its second Ultimate Universe. So with that being said, Absolute Batman concluded its first arc with the Zoo arc. I have to read issue number 6. I've read the first 5 issues. I will personally say that I think Ultimate Spider-Man is stronger of an actual story, but I think Absolute Batman is fun and entertaining, in my opinion. But I'm not the hugest person on the designs of some of these characters. Like, it's one of those things where I understand your universe has to be different and it has to kind of stand out in its own way. But I kind of agree with Graham. This design just looks kind of bad, in my opinion, actually. And I initially said it didn't look that bad, but then the more I thought about it before we started doing this video, I was like, this looks not that good, honestly. So I'll just show you guys the design right here if you guys haven't seen it yet. So here is the design right here. And this is the thing that got Graham a lot of hits on Twitter. As the designer / co-creator of Bane, this is a terrible abomination. So the artist on the book is Nick Dragotta, okay? And I don't mind Nick Dragotta's art. I think it's just okay, in my opinion. It's nothing like super standout, but it's nothing super bad either. I don't know if he created this or he did the main design, but this is bad, honestly. And I think it's mostly just a small head. Why does he have a small head?
Yeah, dude, that's what threw me off too. Like the perspective is off on this. I mean, look at this. I mean, this is the classic. Look, this is how he looks. Look at him on the fucking cover of this. Like you could say his head looks kind of small here a little bit, but like that's just because he's, this is too small. Like his head, his jaw, like look at this one, his jaw is narrowed out and kind of feminine looking. Like here, his head may be altogether smaller here, but he's got this huge jaw and he's like, he looks like this, like he looks imposing. This looks like the dude. Has anybody done the Beetlejuice shrunken head dude yet? Because that's what that looks like to me. Like they literally shrunk his head and shit. It's just too, it's too off. And it's just like, dude, you don't have, I don't know, dude. Like it really seems like the Ultimate Batman thing, whatever you want to call it, Absolute Batman. They're trying to borrow a lot from old stories, and they're not really giving it the gravitas. Now you get this, one of the most iconic Batman scenes ever. Here, hold on, let me do something really quick because I'm trying to do this and it's being a pain. Here we go. Go here, go there, go there. I thought I had filters up. Let me fix my filters. There we go. Let's turn that off. You have one of the most iconic comic book scenes ever. There's this, and then there's the death of Superman with his cape and the flag on the rubble. Those are probably the two most iconic scenes I'll ever see drawn on the page for comic book lovers ever. That and this. But you know what it took to get to this? Much freaking story.
Mm-hmm.
This much. They spent time on it. They built it up.
Crazy, man.
That's why this mattered. And this doesn't. That's the thing. I'm sorry. 5 issues doesn't buy you enough fan credence to say, I care about this.
And this is the thing that I wanted to bring up, which is just that page you brought up, because people utilized that page in their argument. Guys, look at the page he just brought up versus this. Now, I will be fair here. This might just be a bad angle. This just might be a bad angle, okay? But look at that compared to this, and you will tell me with a straight face you think that looks good. Tell me with a straight face you think this looks good.
Look at his jawline, and look at that jawline. The problem with that is it's narrow and feminine, and this looks like he's a fucking bear. Like, look at that jaw. Look at how I get that the head is smaller than his gigantic bulk. I get that. But this head is not that head. That head's perspective and everything is just weird. Also, his muscular structure. I mean, you don't see on this guy, on the Absolute Bane, he's got that small guy inside a big guy, like bodybuilder, weird kind of look.
The composition is off.
Yeah. And here he just looks like a monster.
Also, the muscle detail on this is not as good. Like the muscle detail on that.
The line work is too weird.
Yeah.
like
So
they
I will
want
be
you to
fair.
see that he's a monster.
I will be
He's
fair.
not
Maybe
just
this is just
a
a
dude.
bad first image because this is just an awful
Maybe.
first image of what like they were trying to sell you for this character. And
Oh yeah,
so apparently this version of Bane appears in like the end of like maybe or like I would say they said Absolute Batman issue number 9 is where it appears. But guys, I know you might not like Graham Nolan because he's kind of associated with Comicsgate. Don't worry. I don't like Comicsgate either. I think it's just full of fucking losers. But let's not like downplay the man who basically kind of created the character's opinion because you know people kept doing that thing of like, but why should his opinion matter? Because he kind of made the character. So his opinion is definitely gonna have more weight than you. Checks no, insert dumb motherfucker on Twitter with absolutely no skill whatsoever, you know? Now, that also led into Graham basically kind of firing off on the comic book industry as well. And I agree with him on both of his points. Bane co-creator calls Absolute Batman villain a terrible abomination. Batman co-creator Graham Nolan is ahem breaking his silence on that viral Absolute Bane design. When the Lech Ador inspired Batman villain debuted in the pages of writer Chuck Dixon and artist Nolan's Batman Vengeance of Bane issue number 1, which came out in 1993, a 64-page origin story for the back-breaking arch-villain of the Nightfall storyline. Bane was in perfect physical condition, but even before being injected with the strength-enhancing super steroid venom. Big and brawny, Bane was built like a brick house with a physique more similar to a bodybuilder than the grotesquely exaggerated hulking monster depicted on artist Kelly Jones' cover for Batman issue 497, the iconic back-breaking issue. So when Absolute Batman artist Nick Dragotta revealed his extra burly Bane, who is even bigger than the 6-foot-tall 275-pound Batman, Nolan called the redesign a terrible abomination in a viral social media post that racked up over 1.6 million views. Now, I will also say this for Bane. Bane has had some very disgusting designs from DC Comics as far as like animation, television too. So you guys know, so not Batman the Animated Series. Remember that underrated one a lot of people talk about with like the Joker who's like a short midget hippie? The Bane in that show is ugly with the giant red design. That one looks ugly. I also wasn't the hugest fan of the Bane design from the Arkham universe. I think Arkham Origins had a better looking Bane. Like there's been some really bad Bane designs over the years. Like it's not just this one. This one would be like one of the top.
No, this is perfect, quintessential. This is what the character was envisioned as. A big bodybuilding dude that was svelte and huge. Now, I mean, you've got these covers that are very exaggerated, but that's a comic book cover. That happens all the time.
Yeah.
The shit gets exaggerated on the covers, and that's just the way it ends up working out. But you know, what you see in the book, that's classic, man. What you saw, Batman the Animated Series, the original animated series, Paul Dini, that Bane is near peak as well. It was so well done.
Design is
I
good.
love the way they
like
did
that
it.
design. I just haven't liked the more recent designs, like that red.
No, this
colored
looks
thing.
like Arkham. That's the problem I have with it. As soon
my
as
bad.
I saw it.
Another one I didn't like. I didn't like the new Batman Adventures redesign of Bane for that one episode appearance he had with that giant black mask over his face. That one's ugly. I didn't like the first 2 Arkham games Bane design.
Yeah,
I like the Justice League Doom Bane design. That one looks very, very good. That one looks great. Like, Bane has had very often on like redesigns over the years.
They're way too. They just let them do whatever the hell they want with it. But this one looks like it's out of Injustice or
this one just
something
not good,
grim,
honestly.
like out of Arkham. It's just not really a good look, and it doesn't. It just doesn't work for me. Like and you know what? Frankly, I think that the creator. I mean, fans can complain or like it all they want. You're paying for the comic book. But I think the creator is more than in his right to come out and say, I really don't like what you guys did with it. Now, you know, is this also fueled by the fact that guys like Graham got screwed over by DC? You could make that argument, and I see people saying that, and it's just like, well, it doesn't matter. He still created it. That's still his, no matter
because
what.
remember
His
that
name is
argument that I got
associated with that
into?
forever.
Remember that argument I got into with that one guy and me and Renown 00? He was like, well, DC owns the character. They can do whatever they want. It's like, no fucking shit, Sherlock. We're not
Yeah, they
arguing that.
did. We already saw it. Doesn't mean anybody's buying it.
Yeah, because that's the thing is this one idiot on Twitter was like, well, DC owns the character. They can do whatever they want with it. Sure, they can. But that doesn't mean that his opinion is less valid. What logic are you guys even arguing anymore in your life? Well, this company owns the character. Okay, so I'll use this as an argument. Remember
Corporate
Dragon Ball?
Shills,
We'll use Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z is a perfect example for this. So in Dragon Ball Z, a lot of people liked when basically Akira Toriyama complimented the Super Saiyan 4 design in Dragon Ball GT because he had very little involvement in Dragon Ball GT. People kind of liked that the creator of the property kind of gave them that validation they needed for Dragon Ball GT kind of being like a side story, you know, where he said he likes Akira Toriyama, he liked the design of Bardock and characters like Bardock and Broly and Janemba and all those characters. He didn't create those characters. Someone else created those characters, but he said how much he liked them, which made fans happy. So obviously, the person who made the fucking character has way more valuable of an opinion than you random insert loser dumb fuck on Twitter with Cheeto stains on your shirt who drinks Mountain Dew and beating off in your mom's basement. Just pointing out, his opinion would have way more value, evidenced by how many views the tweet got. Okay? So when you have idiots on Twitter that day that went like, well, why does his opinion matter more? Because he fucking made it. It's not rocket science, you dumb fuck.
But dude, this is the problem with Wikipedia and Google image search fans. These people aren't fans of the comic books. They never read Nightfall. They don't know where any of this shit came from. They downloaded something off the internet. They read one of those terrible Harley Quinn farting books, or they picked up Injustice, or they played Arkham. I'm like, I really like Bane, but I've never read a comic book, but I have so much to say about the comic books because I'm an idiot.
Someone ever said they really like Bane and Arkham, the first two games, they're capping out their ass. That person lying. That he was treated like shit. And I love those first Arkham games. Those ones are really, really good, but they treated Bane like really badly. And to be fair, looking back now, was that something that maybe they didn't like Graham Nolan? But nevertheless, this was the follow-up tweet that he had where he basically said, after being asked countlessly for my opinion on this version of Bane, I gave an honest answer. And that's the thing is, I imagine he did have people DMing him going like, hey, man, how do you feel about your character looking this way? I'd imagine that happened. I don't have any reason to disagree with that. And this is what people in the comic book industry don't want. They don't like honesty. They don't like you basically being honest, but like the way you feel, because it basically, they want you to kind of severely validate their little cringe, disgusting reasons for something. Now, you can like the absolute Bane design, guys. I'm not saying you don't have to, because I don't really like it that much. But that doesn't mean that if I say I don't like it, that doesn't automatically mean that you shouldn't like it. I'm just telling you how I feel, honestly. And then you have people that were like, what do you not like about it? Let's just compare Bane designs, and you will tell me which one was better. Tell me which one is better. I will ask you. I'll bring up several ones of Bane. You tell me why that one looks good to you. Like, just because you like the absolute Batman universe so far doesn't mean you have to like everything that he's doing. Obviously, you know? Nolan wrote in a subsequent post on X, I've been called everything from a has-been to bitter to old. Also, this is from people that have never achieved anything in their life anyway. But I think that is most because he has association with Comicsgate. And guys, I don't like Comicsgate either. I'm telling you that right now. I could care less for that. Comicsgate is full of fucking weirdos and losers. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to value Graham's opinion less because he was a part of Comicsgate.
Well, it also doesn't mean that Graham's involved in the shit that Evan Mansucker is doing on the regular.
Look at this picture right here on the left. Look at that.
That's so fucking good. That is, it's so good. There is no comparison. There just isn't. You cannot compare those two things. Dude, covers don't even hit the same way anymore, man. I'm so disappointed by most of the shit I see out there. It's
we need a Todd McFarlane
and that era hit
90s cover
so good
for Batman. We need Todd McFarlane to draw Batman covers. That'd be fucking awesome.
Dude, if they could afford him, they can't afford him. That's the problem.
So Graham ended up saying, relax, it's just my opinion. Nolan post continued. It shouldn't affect how you feel about it. 1.6 million people viewed the post, and it seems that many had their own opinion. If every one of you were buying comics instead of reacting to the opinion of one guy, this business would be in a better shape. I'm now issuing you all a challenge. Why get mad at me when you can get even with me? buy the book, tell your friends to get multiple copies, prove me wrong with your wallets instead of your keyboards, and give this artist a huge royalty payday. Let's get this book to 1.6 million in sales. That'll show me. Another just mic drop moment from Graham Nolan, okay? So I will also give him the credence of that too. If every single one of you would basically put your money where your mouth is, yeah, the comic book industry will be in a much better place.
Most of these people on here, they definitely aren't buying like indie comics, Comicsgate comics, even Graham's Monster Island comics.
Yeah,
they ain't buying shit.
So
that'll never happen.
Yeah.
And you'll never get something like that shit right there. Talk about Todd McFarlane doing Batman. Boom. See, this is the difference between guys like that and guys like me, is that we'll talk about something or you'll say something and I will turn around and I will show you exactly what the fuck it is before you can even get to Wikipedia and look it up.
Mm-hmm.
Fake fans.
And this is the other thing too. If I'll tip it right now, if you like Nick Dragotta's art so much, DC actually pays better royalties than Marvel. If you buy Absolute Batman and you continue to buy it, Nick Dragotta's going to get a huge payday, honestly. But all of you need to
spend money on it.
This. Mm-hmm. The thing is, if you like this Absolute Batman book so much, it won't matter what he says because the sales will reflect it. They won't cancel it in 12 issues, and I don't think they will because it's the highest selling book they have at the moment. They're not canceling this anytime soon. You know, they just started its second arc. But this is the thing is, all these people that kept saying, well, Graham, he voted for Trump. What the fuck does that have to do with his opinion on Bane? You absolute retard.
What does that have to do at all with his art?
Yeah.
Nothing. And certainly not the art he made back in the 90s.
Yeah.
It certainly has nothing to do with what he did with Nightfall. Doesn't mean anything.
And this right here, that's one of my favorite Bane images right there. All I love,
dude, that's just the best. That was peak. I'm sorry, when they created him, he peaked. It was perfect. The only thing ever close to it for me is the animated series stuff. The animated series Bane was baller. Let me see if I can find a good image of him.
Depictions vary. Bane was a vein-covered brute in 1997's Batman and Robin, and shredded but normal-sized in 2012's The Dark Knight Rises, played by Tom Hardy. I did not like The Dark Knight Rises portrayal of Bane. I thought he sucked, honestly. He had a few good lines here and there, but that mouthpiece he was wearing, I know that was super memeable, but I always thought it was just goofy and stupid. I think Nolan did say The Dark Knight. I don't know if he put The Dark Knight Rises in there in his tweet. I don't remember that. I don't put words in his mouth, but I hope he doesn't like the Dark Knight Rises version of Bane, because that was terrible. I love Nolan. I really do, but Nolan was not cooking with Dark Knight Rises, honestly. In Batman the Animated Series, Bane, with his exposed lips, even more resembles a luchador in a single appearance in the original series. In 2004's The Batman Animated Series, Venom turned a regular-sized man into the hulking red skin Bane, also an ugly version. That was a terrible version. 2009
really bad
video game. They don't even mention the New Adventures of Batman design here. That one's bad. 2009 video game Batman Arkham Asylum also opted for the super bulky Bane, who was depicted with an elaborate venom dispensing tube rather than the simple feeding tubes embedded in Bane's mask. March's Absolute Batman #6 ended with the humorless Joker who drains babies for their blood to treat his bleached white skin condition, summoning Bane to Gotham. As Batman unravels the mystery of Arc M, one of the many Arc Black sites funded by Joker and Black Mask, he'll next face a cryptid-like Mr. Freeze in Absolute Batman issue #7 before going up against Bane in June's Absolute Batman #3. So, God, man, this is
And I sent you some of the images from the animated series stuff, and it's that one's good. I really liked what they did with it, but they had reverence for the characters back then. This is the thing. Just over the last decade, you've just seen artists come in and be like, I'm going to draw this like it's a blacklight poster that I smoked pot and I drew this, or, you know, I microdosed some shrooms and I drew this and thought it looked cool. And it's just like, there's no reverence for the art. There's no interest in where it came from. It's just like, they can't even make anything original of their own. They just
let's not even go over Batman and Robin's Bane with the one with Uma Thurman. Let's not go over that one. That one trash. God damn. I know people have their problems with the City of Bane, but this cover is really, really good. I like this cover on Bane. Like, look at this art from Graham Nolan from the past. Good. Like, some of the stuff is great. Like, they've had some banger Bane covers over the years. Like this one from One Bad Day. That one looks really, really good. Here. You have I just didn't like the Tom Hardy Bane. That's just ugly. God, why is that guy Bane?
Yeah. I couldn't tell you, dude. That was a weird casting. Like, it would have made more sense.
Looking
to have
back now, it's a terrible
really
casting
big.
now. Yeah.
Like, just get somebody really big and then do a voiceover or something. And I don't know. Like, this is a cool Bane here. Like,
the Bane in Hush looked. That's bad. That looks like crap.
This one's pretty decent. Like, who drew this? Let's see. Oh, this is another one of these stories, but they don't say who drew this picture of it. But that's not Bane. Let me put this in here. I'll put it in chat for you. This one's pretty cool. This looks kind of modern, so I would look to see who drew this, because I can't tell. Let's see. Yeah, they don't really say.
Oh, I like that one.
I don't know that this.
I think this is
the biggest version of Batman.
That might be the City.
No,
of
this
Bane
is just a story.
That might be City of Bane.
Maybe, but that looks good.
Now.
That's a really nice looking one. That might be Graham Nolan for all I know. I have no idea. There's other ones here. He's got like red glowing eyes, but you're still kind of sticking to the reverence of the original character. The ideal of him is just like roided out, like, basically junkie. Where it came to a point where like at the beginning, and this is what I appreciated about him, is that he was a good rival to Batman. He was intelligent. He was strategic. He was trained.
One of the few villains to ever deduce his identity. Big. It was Hugo Strange first. They did it in Batman Prey. Bane figured out, because the thing with, if people don't know how great that story is, there's several reasons why it's good. So Bane, like I mentioned in the first part of the video, has all the attributes of other Batman villains kind of put into one. Then he unleashed with his minions, because he has his main lieutenant called Bird. He had his minions unleash every villain in Arkham to weaken Batman down, found out his secret identity, invaded his mansion, and then proceeded to break his back. Like, he was essentially an adversary that basically just had so many different aspects of other Batman villains put into one, and he had the strength on top of it, because if you can't physically fight Batman, he'll just kind of just beat your ass. But if you're
and that was the thing. He was a true nemesis to Batman. He was somebody that wasn't just like with the Joker. Batman's got to use his strategic mind, his logic to kind of figure out what the Joker's going to do next. But when he caught the Joker, when he was like face to face with the Joker was done. Batman's going to beat his ass. Game over. Bane, that shit didn't matter, and that's what made the stake so much better.
And he knew Bane how strong Batman was.
Toe with him.
Because that's the reason why, people forget, there's a reason why he unleashed those villains to weaken him before, because he knew how strong Bruce was. Like, it was an amazingly great crafted story, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, Bane, obviously, like, he reminds me of, like, Venom for Spider-Man. When they created those characters, they definitely were adversaries in much better ways compared to the
they really built Venom up. And that's what you do with the great villains. Like I showed you, Absolute Batman is trying to recapture in less than 5 issues the gravitas that came with hundreds of pages of story and tons of character development and tons of great plot points and subplots and drama that built until he broke Batman's back and faced him off in his house, and he came for him. But that was the thing too. You saw this coming almost the whole way. They led you up to it. Now, you didn't know that Batman was going to get his back broken or whatever else. You didn't know that was going to happen, but you knew Bane was coming for him. You knew Bane had figured him out. Bane had his number, period. And they showed you that. They wanted you to know it. And it made it, it just, when that scene comes to fruition and everything hits, it's so fulfilling and like gut-wrenching. You're like, ooh. And again, I'll say this about like the books in the 90s, man, like with Batman, nothing hits like that anymore. Nothing has that weight. Going back and rereading Nightfall, the Kyle Rayner freaking story, 0 Hour, going back and going
even
through
add
these
this
old
one.
books of old.
proving Bane's Bane's mental awareness and stuff. You played Arkham Origins, remember? Do you remember the scene where Batman is hiding in that elevator and Bane just walks up and grabs him out of it because he knows that Batman is stealthy and just pulls him down and throws him into the room? He literally is a very like tactitional character. Like it's a character where I just question like why Nolan ever casted Tom Hardy to be.
I don't know. What's even more disappointing?
Go back and watch. Go on YouTube. Watch Bane versus Batman in Arkham Origins, where he pulls him out of that elevator shaft, which is because he notices like, wait a minute, I know this guy's stealthy. I'm gonna pull him out of here and just physically just pulled him down. Like, and Batman's like, God damn, this guy's actually pretty fucking strong, you know? And then he also found his secret identity in Origins, almost killed Alfred. Like, Bane's a great character. Like, I don't know why Graham's opinion would be anything less because he's associated with Comiskey. I think that's just
not even just that. I mean, and I've said this before on the show. Actually, I've said that like one of the greatest travesties that's happened is how they've just neutered the Bane character. Like they've overused him. He got too big. They wanted to put him in everything, and they abused him. They diluted the character that was so great, and shit all over it. Like he's a joke on the stupid Harley Quinn show, and in the Arkham games. He got some recognition as being a worthwhile villain, but you never see that anymore. You don't see them use Bane that way at all. He's just a filler. He's just a nothing. They don't really give him the gravitas that he was created with. And it's disappointing. I'd love to see a good Batman and Bane
final thoughts
throw down again
on Graham Nolan slamming the absolute Bane design.
There are few people in the comic book industry that have as much right as he does. In fact, there isn't anybody other than Chuck Dixon and the rest of the artists that work on the Nightfall story that really have any room to say much of anything. You can like it or don't like it, and maybe some of those people will like it. Maybe some of the other artists that worked on Nightfall will say they like this new one, but their name isn't Chuck Dixon and Graham Nolan, the two men that created it. And it's, and in my opinion, I don't like the way it looks either. It's just not really good. It's like a Temu version of Bane.
Yeah, I could. And this thing is, why does this? I just didn't like his head. Why is his head so small? But my final thoughts on this is like, I agree with Graham, on what he said. If all these people that viewed that fucking tweet actually bought comic books, well, guys, all your favorite artists and writers wouldn't be out of work constantly, begging for money constantly, like
they wouldn't be crying on the internet about it. Well, maybe that's Marvel.
Luckily, DC Comics pays better royalties than Marvel, but I always argue it's probably not that much more compared to Marvel. It's probably just a little bit better, but I don't think the absolute Bane design looks good at all. Honestly, it could have been better. Maybe that's just a bad image. Maybe like in cover art, it'll look better. Maybe in the actual comic, it'll look better when you're reading it. But just that as a first image of it, I don't think it looks good at all. And like everyone on that post, I know you saw it. They just sucking up. Like I like Scott Snyder, but
I guarantee you, after all of this shit and after Graham saying that, when that character does hit, we're probably not going to see it looking exactly like that for long.
Oh, yeah. They're probably going to change something about it based off the backlash that it got. Yeah. Oh, the last thing I'll mention there is like when you're talking to Scott Snyder, dude, these guys are so weird. They'll be like, oh my God, dude, you go off GOAT. It's like that black girl thing. It's like, you go queen. It's like, they're like, man, you can go off GOAT. You don't got to care about these haters. And it's like, guys, Scott Snyder, he clearly values Chuck Dixon's opinion. Not even Graham Nolan. Someone had said that Graham Nolan didn't like it, and Scott didn't even disrespect Graham Nolan. He just said, that sucks. He didn't like it. It's okay. Now, he might feel differently behind closed doors, but that was very professional.
Hey, that's the way to approach it in public.
Yeah,
man.
Scott Snyder actually acted way more professional than you guys did. You guys were just like, oh my God, a guy didn't like the new design of Bane. Like, Scott Snyder was like, people are going to like it or not. It just is what it is.
When I saw what Snyder had to say, that's why I didn't really get into it. Like, I think I commented on one of Graham's things and he liked what I had to say. But I saw that Snyder actually took a professional route to it. And I was like, okay, I think this is done. It's over with. Like, all of these people can go over here and cry all day long about it. But the guy writing the book is like, oh, that's too bad he doesn't like it. And he moved on. Like, good. It's your art. It's your book. You do what you want with it. Personally, I don't like the way it looks. But
Me neither.
that's
Yeah.
me, man. I wasn't buying the book already anyways, so you
Yeah.
don't got to worry about me.
You were gonna buy it and trade anyway. These are like trade buys for you at most.
Maybe. I might try it and trade if
The
I
first
find
arc
it
is
on
good.
sale.
I like the first arc. It's, in my opinion, it's pretty entertaining. But then again, I think, like I said earlier, Ultimate Spider-Man is just a better book. If you're comparing them both like they're big behemoths, they are.
I've
Ultimate
got
Spider-Man is just better.
the second trade sitting over here I need to get into.
Hell yeah. So, thank you guys for checking out this video. If you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video. I am MSK, aka Master Swag King, and we're going to sign out, guys. See you guys later. Peace. Now we're going to get into the fun one. I have everything bookmarked, and I am ready. All right.
Let's go.
So when I share the screen, guys, I have to go up and down between the images that I have here. So keep in
You're
mind.
always going up and down on images.
Okay, so let me see if my first one will have it. Hi, Hobo. How you doing, buddy? Yeah, I bought the Bane Conquest book. I bought it. I have it over there. I'll read it eventually. I have to read more on my free time, but it's just like when I read a comic book, I just want to review it because I want to just give my full thoughts and opinions on it. Like, I just love talking about comic books so much. I just love giving my opinions on them. But good Lord, Ben. And you guys know I got this shirt at a thrift store for $2.99, and your boys love looking hot.
You like your shirt that your girlfriend bought you.
I have to wash it. I wore it a few days already. Too much.
Well, at least you. Oh wow, you were so happy that your girlfriend bought you this shirt. You wore it like multiple times.
Nope.
Damn.
I should show you the Russell
MSK,
Westbrook epic L layup he did last night on a double overtime game with the Nuggets versus the Timberwolves. There's Russell Westbrook.
Bro.
Did you see that? Did you see that final part where he did a layup and I was like, bro, you just don't miss those
Were you
layups.
watching with your girlfriend?
Nope. I watched it alone in my house, beating off constantly.
To Westbrook doing a shitty layup? That's
all right. So speaking of, I might have put my foot in my mouth on that one.
You just really admitted some shit right there.
Yep.
Hey where's WZ? We need a new clip for the W's channel. We need that one.
I have sex with a lot of women, honestly, and that's just how it works.
Yeah, that's not what you just said.
Good Lord, man.
But we'll have to ask your girlfriend and see what she says.
I hate life so much sometimes. All right. It's going to be kind of a fun one.
Let's go.
Hey, everyone. I am a black guy, and I'm going to fuck your girlfriend and her sister and her grandma. Wow. It's a little much, I'm not going to lie. All right. You guys ready for some fun? Hey, everyone. I am MSK, a.k.a. Master Swag King, coming at you guys today with another video. And if you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about the Nintendo Switch 2 as more details have been revealed about the Nintendo Switch 2. So we already did a previous video talking about the Nintendo Switch 2 when basically the images got leaked for the Nintendo Switch 2. And then basically Nintendo did a video or a Nintendo Direct kind of stream on just the reveal of the Switch 2. We also heard they were very unhappy that the reveals ended up happening before they got a chance to reveal the Switch 2. Now, just my opinion on that, they were taking so long to get the reveal. They were just taking so long. For some of these companies take so long to get stuff done. Just literally get the shit done faster. That's all I'll say about that. But today, we actually had some really interesting details come out for the Nintendo Switch 2, and it basically burnt Twitter. It basically just lit the internet on fire, and there's so much to say about this because, as you guys know, grew up with Nintendo as my very first, ever, game company consoles. I grew up with not a color Game Boy. I had the black and white one because it was given to us. Then I had an NES. Then I had a GameCube, and obviously the GameCube is one of my favorite consoles of all time. Definitely have some great memories on that. I love the games on there. I had a Wii. I didn't like it as much as the GameCube, but I had one. And then I had a Switch, but I think the best Nintendo console I've ever owned personally was the GameCube. Now, if we're looking at the Switch, if you remember, the Wii U was actually very botched on Nintendo's part. They really didn't know where to go with like the Wii U after the Wii was, very, very good in terms of like selling games and being like this innovation console where you could like get up and play tennis and Just Dance and all that stuff. And then the Switch came out not too long after that. It came out back in 2017. We've got the Switch Lite, the regular Switch, the Switch OLED. I have the Switch OLED. I do. It's better than the regular Switch because I gave my other Switch away, my base one. And the Switch itself, is a good console. It's one of the highest selling game consoles of all time, just behind the PlayStation 2. So it shows that Nintendo fans do show up to buy their consoles. But the problem with the Switch has always been with any Nintendo console is that the actual hardware behind the Nintendo consoles themselves is they're not good. And that's one of the few issues I have with the Switch 2 reveal is that the hardware should definitely be a lot better compared to how long we've had to wait for this thing. Because keep in mind, the Switch came out in 2017. Like, I think it was June or like mid-June, late 2017, right? So we got 2018, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We basically had like almost 8 years of this shit. 8 years for Nintendo to start cooking on the Nintendo Switch 2. They're doing some good. They're doing really, really good on some things, but goddamn, this hardware should be way better. This hardware should be at least base minimum PS5, Xbox Series X level. It's been 8 years, people. 8 fucking years. Okay, there's no excuse for them to not have good hardware. And I'm not saying it doesn't have good hardware, but it should have way better hardware than what it is offering, especially in the gigabyte space. And I'll get into that a little bit later. So, for all of you guys that are interested in the Switch 2, if you guys are watching this video on the main channel, keep in mind, I have to kind of jump over because I kind of bookmarked everything. So the Nintendo Switch 2 is available on June 5th, 2025. Pre-orders are going to end up happening very, very soon. So by the time you watch this video, you probably already pre-ordered it. And if you really enjoy the console, I do hope you really, really enjoy it. I hope you get really good enjoyment of streaming and playing your games with your buddies. The Nintendo Switch 2,
oh wow,
the base model is going to be $449.99. So what that means basically is that I'm going to get on my knees for Savage Dad and be one of his kids and have him buy me one, obviously. Right?
I already told you what I'm going to do to my kids with the Switch 2. So
that's terrible.
I can write it off. I'm going to write it off. I'm going to buy this. I'm going to maybe live stream or make an unboxing video for it, and then I'm going to take it. I'm going to stick it, and I'm going to do a reboxing video, upload that, where I take it and I show it to my kids, and I say, nah, go clean your fucking rooms, and then I put it in my closet, and I leave it there for like 3 months.
Oh, God, man. Oh, God. That's
I'm going to get all the clicks in the world, all the dad clicks. Dude, so right now, if I sign into my Nintendo account, wow, I can't pre-order apparently until the 9th.
You can trade in your other Switch, I think.
No, I can go in here. Let's see. Sign in your Nintendo account and register your interest in purchasing a Switch 2 system and select accessories from my Nintendo store.
Yeah.
We'll be in touch with an invitation email once it's your turn to shop. So they're literally Nintendo will just tell me, okay, you can get it now. And I have to select which system I want and sign their thing.
Yeah.
And then click it, and then they'll just hit me up.
That's because from what I heard, they want to stop scalpers from going on there and just buying up all the pre-orders to jack up the price for the secondary market.
Yeah, I wonder what they're going to be doing with like Best Buy and Amazon and everybody else who's going to be jumping in on this. But I might do that. Now I'm going to get the base system, no games. That way I can torture my children even more. But also I don't want to pay full price, and I don't want a digital Mario Kart. Physical cartridge or eat my ass. I'm not doing anything. So I may pay
that sounds
the full price for.
When can we start that?
Mario Kart World.
So here are the specs for the Switch 2. Switch 2 screen is 1080p up to 120 frames per second, LCD screen with HDR support, Joy-Cons magnetic, bigger SL, SR buttons, larger control sticks, mouse controls confirmed for each Joy-Con, improved speakers / clearer audio, built-in mic, noise canceling tech, 3D audio, a new stand, large / sturdy, 2 USB-C ports, top, bottom, 250 gigabytes of storage, new dock supports 4K, fan ventilation in dock, BC with backwards compatible with Switch 1, both physical and digital. So I will go over my biggest problem with the system. Why the fuck in 2025 is this thing 256 gigabytes. The base PS5 and the Xbox Series X starts at a terabyte of gigabyte space. A terabyte. You're getting 1,000 terabyte on those things. And Nintendo is giving you 256 gigabytes of storage on a Switch 2 that is coming out.
Yeah, it is interesting too because you get I'm looking for this now with the I want to know what the hell they mean by an express card because I'm used to that being something else. But I'm surprised that this isn't like a UHS 2 card or something, or maybe that's what the SD Express is because I know like for my camera, which is the same thing that the Switch games are based on, is a UHS 2 SD card. It's how they transfer a lot more data. The big long pins make more contact. It moves more data. It's how they work. I hadn't heard of micro SD Express. I'm trying to find what is it? There we go. Micro SD Express cards are faster at reading and writing data compared to micro SD or Express cards, which are used in the Nintendo Switch. Okay, that's great. Nintendo support are the only people telling me about what a micro SD Express is.
Oh gosh.
So let's see. What?
So my thing right now, guys, is that's just my biggest problem is they've taken 8 years to make this. 256 gigabytes of storage is just not acceptable in my opinion. That's just bad and stupid. And I know people are going to say, well, you can just get a micro SD. You shouldn't even need to do that. You shouldn't go and grab that anyway, for being honest with you. You shouldn't have to go grab an external SD card to hold more games. So that's my thing. And I will also say this to a lot of people too, because they had a lot of issues with the Switch 2 reveal. So given how we know Nintendo Switch basically handled the Switch life cycle, I promise you, because this is what game consoles always do. There's always a more advanced version of a game console coming out. So with the Switch, you have the Switch Lite, the regular base model, and you also have the Switch OLED. I ended up having the Switch OLED. So there will be a Switch 2 Lite, then there will be a Switch 2 OLED version at some point. So if you don't want to buy the Switch when it first drops, that's fine, because eventually they're going to make a smaller version of it and then a much more better version, comparing it to the base version as well. Also, people that said, well, why don't I just go get a Steam Deck? Well, you can. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. This getting revealed had nothing stopping you getting a Steam Deck. Let's be honest here. That is one of the most dumbest deflection bullshit points I've ever heard. Well, I could just get a Steam Deck. Well, why don't you then? You could have just got it before this ever was revealed. Oh, but I don't know. I was fucking my dog and I was coming inside my grandma's ass and I literally had no money. It's oh my god.
Who are you talking to, Chris Chan?
I'm on Reddit way too much, honestly. But
you really are, dude. I never go there.
The main thing that I like is that it's backwards compatible with the Switch 1. I think that's my biggest selling point, physical and digital. So all those physical games you bought on the Switch 1, I would hope, I'm just saying this, guys, I hope they're all compatible with the Switch 2, honestly. And then the other thing to bring up with the Switch now is because we know this from Microsoft's president. He basically wants it all cross-gen, and Sony's probably going to be more cross-gen coming up with the PS6 because, a lot of these games being exclusive beside Nintendo just haven't been selling very well. Nintendo's going to end up having Xbox and PlayStation games because a lot of people's problem was basically, well, I like my Xbox and my PlayStation because I like these games and Nintendo will never have these. That's changing now. They're going to start having these games. I guarantee you right now they will start having them. Elden Ring game or Elden Scrolls is going to be here.
Exclusive multiplayer from Soft, Duskbloods. That's going to draw people in, dude. That really is. People love Souls. Souls
Halo
fans
is going to be here.
Are going to be there for that.
Yeah, there's a lot of those games that and love on PlayStation and Xbox that are going to be here, and then that only just makes it more lucrative for the Switch 2 in terms of sales because Nintendo has obviously some of the most iconic characters like Mario. They got Donkey Kong. They have there's so many characters. Obviously, they have a library of characters. They have Link and everything. Their consoles will sell because they're people love their games. People love their brand. Now, I think the other big problem that a lot of people have been having with this is how much the games will cost. So we might as well go into that right now. So depending on physical and digital, some games, just depending, some games might actually be, I shit you not, $90 or $80 for digital. Now, the big problem with that is that a lot of people have been basically saying, well, Nintendo is kind of leading the way for games to be close to $100 because people did not like when games cost even $70. People were just fine paying for games when they were $50. Now, the big problem here is that I think people will be more okay with paying games if they cost more, if they were good. And in terms of good, I mean, not being day one, bug messes, patch notes constantly. I'll just give you as an example. Star Wars Outlaw came out, and then literally within 24 hours, people had to literally, if you even played the game to a certain extent, you had to basically erase all of that because they had to apply a patch. Something happened with the game, and they had to play it again.
They're dropping it on this console, and there's not a body alive that's going to pay $60-$70 for that fucking game. It's just not going to happen. They come out charging $80 for that game, they will lose money on developing it for the Switch. And this is the thing. I don't hate it because personally, I never buy, like, especially third-party shit. I'm never going to pay full price for a third-party game because a year later on Black Friday, it's going to be in a $20 fucking bin or on the Steam sale. Now, when it comes to Nintendo's first-party shit, you may have to bite the bullet, but the great thing is like I go to Costco or Sam's Club, they've often got the big ones. Like when Tears of the Kingdom came out, they had that for $50 fucking bucks. $50 for that game in the Costco. So if it's a Costco on sale or cheaper Costco price, I'll get it there. If it's not, I'll wait till Black Friday because even first party Nintendo shit goes on sale on Black Friday.
I'll show you right here. Saying Mario Kart is leading the way. Obviously, it's Nintendo. They're going to lead with Mario Kart. Mario Kart, outside of like Super Smash Bros. Is one of their highest selling titles ever. Like Mario Kart is everyone's favorite party game. Mario Kart is $80. Other Switch 2 games are $70. Now, I want people to apply something here to your brain. Keep this in your mind. Games are not just going to be $70 anyway, even if you bought $70 games. You know why? Because there's a thing called sales tax on games. They were closer to $80 anyway. I want people to understand this, though. People just think of like a base price as a base price. Games are taxed, okay? So if your game now is $70, so if Mario Kart is $80 for the physical version, it's literally going to be $90 with tax anyway. It's going to be probably like $95 with tax, if we're being completely honest here, because they're different states have different sales tax. So obviously that applies differently.
This is the thing, dude. What it's going to do is it's going to remove a lot of people from the market. They're going to lose players who aren't going to do this. They're going to play their old games. I've got a ton of Switch games.
You can just play the backwards compatible ones.
Look at my, like I was saying earlier, look at my Steam list here behind me. I've got all that to play. I've even got Switch games plenty. I still haven't even finished or 100%ed Breath of the fucking Wild, and I got that on the Wii U when it ended. So I've got plenty to do with games.
Yeah.
They may look, no matter how interesting or cool or great they look, I'm not there day one anyways. So at the end of the day, make GTA 6 $100. I'm probably never going to play it because I don't give a shit. And it sounds like they're screwing it up anyways. But even if it is good, it's going to be in a Steam sale a year or two later for $50. And I'll buy it then if I really care. Maybe I'll wait another year and I'll get it for fucking 30.
The other thing that I want to mention for a lot of people is, a lot of people don't understand how other countries work. If you're in Canada or not in the US at all, games were already way more expensive for you anyway, So you were already paying like $80, $90 for, first party titles anyway from some of these companies. Now, the biggest selling point for me on the Switch 2, not only just the backwards compatibility, because obviously if the Switch 2 doesn't even have good games up front, well, it's cool. I'll just play the ones that I already have, which is good. This is my favorite thing announced from this. Nintendo GameCube games will be coming to Switch 2, starting with Zelda Wind Waker, Soul Calibur 2, and F-Zero GX. I played F-Zero GX. That's a very hard game. I barely got past like the first few levels, but I love Soul Calibur 2. That's one of my favorite games of all time. I love fucking Soul Calibur 2. I like
it. Like, I like that this is happening and we're going to get it, but I wish I could just buy them. I don't want a subscription service to all of these old games as much as I would like to just be able to go to the eShop and buy the game's title that I want and keep it. And this is the thing. I think at the end of the day, they could make as much or more if they sold these individually so you could get a digital copy of the old game. They could just repackage these
as physical titles if they wanted to.
They could do that too, or even digital. I'll pay $20 in some cases for certain GameCube games that I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
So sell them. It literally costs you.
Do you know why they're doing it?
Other than
I can already
hosting them
answer
to
why
sale.
they're doing it. They want to basically not have people be able to play these games in a retro game format, because this basically solves like a retro game format where if they already have the retro games on their system, all updated with all the graphics and everything, then you have it right here. And I know they said they're going to be releasing a wireless Nintendo GameCube controller. I wonder if they're going to have that port in the Nintendo Switch 2 where you can basically add in that extension to it to play the GameCube controllers with the wire, because I have the GameCube controller with the wire, so I'd like playing with the wire one. I think it's better. But you have the Nintendo GameCube Classics available on the same day as Nintendo Switch 2, available for Nintendo Switch Online plus expansion pack members. So I know people are like, I don't want to pay for the subscription service. I will say this. I don't like it either, but I will give you a caveat here. If you guys don't actually pay for it, Nintendo Switch is online. It's going to obviously increase more with the Switch 2, but right now it only costs like $6 a month. And with 12 months, it's like nothing, honestly. I would imagine with the Switch 2 is going to be way more expensive. It might even go to $10, but $10 in 12 months is honestly nothing to a certain extent. So Nintendo Switch's online membership is actually not that expensive at all currently right now when we're doing this video, but that could change when the Switch 2 basically comes out. These were some of the games, and they also said more are coming. So you have Super Mario Sunshine, a fan favorite, Fire Emblem, which is with Ike and Marth and Roy and Lucina, the sword characters from Melee. I love this one. Pokemon XD Gale. I love this fucking game. I love Coliseum and I love XD Gale of Darkness. I can't wait to play that. That one's awesome. Super Mario Strikers. I never played this. This is a soccer game. I think. No, I have.
I really liked it. I liked that. I even liked the one they put on the Wii. That was a good game. I wish they would have done more with it. Like, I appreciated those way more than like Nintendo makes such great fun like sports games.
Yeah, they do.
Like,
yeah,
they shit all over the drag you get from EA, which is just the repackaged same crap with new jerseys and names every fucking year. Like, I'd rather play these.
Oh yeah, like I remember back in the day with this game, you had that like wire you could plug into your GameCube and basically like you could battle with a friend. Like if he had Pokemon on there, you battle. Oh my god, I love this game, and I can't wait for more titles to be added, because if people know this, that means you Nintendo fans out there could very well get Super Smash Brothers Melee on here, and a lot of people have wanted them to basically kind of remaster Melee. I don't think these games are going to be remastered. I think they'll be the exact way you remember, but having them basically have Melee in a much more consumable fashion where you could have an online, battle form of it. I think that's awesome. So I'm curious to see what they're going to do with the Melee front, because that's what people are going to ask. People have been asking for a long time. But no, this is great. This is probably the reason why I would get this, though. That this is just a great idea all the way around. I'm glad this is the thing.
I mean, it's definitely more than I have right now. I don't even know why I have.
Oh, you also got to get Luigi's Mansion too.
Yep. Yeah, that's going to be good.
That's good. All right. So I think that's the biggest components of a lot of these, actually. So people have said, is it better to get the Mario Kart bundle or to just get the base version without the game? It depends. I would say to get the game with it, because you already have.
If you're a physical media purist like I am, I'm going to pay the extra money to get the physical copy of it. But if you want to save $30, get the other one. So
I would just say,
I'm probably going to go sign up after this show, actually, for the just base console on Nintendo's site, and let Nintendo hit me up when they're ready to let me shop for it.
It's probably more financially viable to get the Mario Kart World bundle than to just buy the base model, because you already you spend a little bit of extra money, but you get the game. You get a game.
I don't want the digital copy, though. That's the thing. I don't want
you're
the
right.
digital copies. So I'll sign up for probably the normal one. Oh, look, I have gold points. Yay.
So I would say this. In all, I know what a lot of people have been saying basically about the Switch 2, like the game price and everything. So the price of games is only going to be justifiable if the actual games are good, because I think a lot of people have the same sentiment as this guy. I'm not paying $80 or $90 for Nintendo games. Fuck you. Nintendo Switch 2 games will cost $80 for digital, $90 for physical. But that's the problem, though, is that if the games are actually good, I don't think people will care, honestly. Because, guys, the Switch The base Switch is one of the highest selling consoles ever. People didn't care at a single point. They're just playing that shit.
Yeah, but that was in a normal pricing time, in the economic times that we are currently still in. You're going to see people leave the market. This happens anytime they increase prices. Though I did make the point today, even to Nick at Phoenix Press, because he was talking about how expensive just the base console was, and I'm like, dude, $449.99 is $299.99 in pre-Joe Biden money. You got to remember, the inflation we just fucking saw in the last 3 years means, this is what the $300 used to be. I see that, and we're going to see that in the next consoles. You saw it with the PlayStation Pro. We've already seen this. The consoles are going to go up because everything went up. And that's going to happen.
Yeah, that's just how things are. I was so confused by people when they said stupid shit like, why is this going to cost so much money? What do you think? Everything's gone up. I don't know if you've been, not you, but I don't know if the average person is even living in reality, like the actual reality that we all live in. Everything has gone up, people. That's just what it is. If you thought the Switch 2, which took almost 9 years to come out, if you thought that was going to cost $299, like the base model of the original Switch, you're stupid. I'm sorry, you're fucking retarded.
Yeah,
you're dumb. And keep in mind, even if it was $299, that wasn't $299 when you paid for it because they added sales tax to that shit. That shit was like probably like $320, for being honest here. And keep in mind, it's not just the base price with the console. What do you need to add with the console? Headphone. Most of the time, people have headphones are different for Nintendo because you can just buy headphones and attach them. Keep in mind, there's accessories that go along with games. All the time. There's controllers and all that stuff, right? It's just like, guys, come on. If you apply, so I know they're going to make the Switch 2 Pro controller. That's going to be like $70. Guys, this console is going to be around
$70 would be a good price because that's what Joy-Cons cost right now.
Yeah. It's just like the guy here, he was like, this is 2025, not 1985. Stop justifying that bullshit. Because people were basically, Razor Fist. He did this. Your good buddy Razor Fist. He was crashing out over that Melanie Mac bullshit. He was simping for that stupid mid-ass thought.
Crashed today. Hard on that.
Today he did this. He put out this price. So this is how you know people are retarded as hell. Okay, so I'm not disagreeing on the premise of what he's saying. I understand what he's saying, but I think it is highly disingenuous to compare prices of games from the years of 1980 compared to 2025. It's like when that person does that thing of like, oh, like you have your parents and they're like, son, back in the day when I was dating, it's a lot different. But they don't understand like dating now is different. That's the kind of energy he's putting out in this tweet. It's like, yeah, no shit. Games in 1985 cost different price than 2025.
Well, and I'll tell you why exactly. 100%. What was the marketplace for those games back then? Who was playing them? How many people were playing them?
Right.
It was primarily children, and I guarantee you the marketplace and the number of units that they moved back then for those games is probably half as much as it is now.
Way less.
Considerably less. The gaming landscape has changed. Every fucking buddy plays games now. Everybody's got a fucking console in their house. So they're moving more of these units and they're making way more fucking money back when they developed those. Way more money now than they were before. So there isn't like the excuse that, oh, this is how much we used to pay. Yes, that's how much you paid when there was considerably less of a marketplace and not nearly as many units moved. So yes, it cost more because they sold less.
Yep.
Now
also,
they sell
taxes and inflation
more.
Were way less back
capitalists,
then now.
It should cost less. And this is the other thing that people are going to have to realize about this. They're not going to be able to move an $80, $90 game, one, from a AAA studio that's already bombed out and people have shit on it. It's not going to move. It's going to be dead because even the people on the fringes who are like, I'm going to buy it to own the chuds, they're going to go broke because they were already nearly broke anyways. They may
but they didn't buy the games
to
to begin with, though. We know they weren't buying games, being honest here.
No, they're not anyways. And that's why what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They're going to tank even harder because if they want to say that it costs them more to develop for the Switch 2 or they want to find ways to excuse the price point, then you're going to lose more money because people aren't going to show up for shit games. And it's going to be even more in effect now. This is This is very much Nintendo making their system a luxury item, and only the cream of the luxury crop is going to rise to the top, which means Nintendo's first party shit will move. That FromSoft game, that's going to move. A lot of this other shit, if you price it that high, if you price Tamagotchi fucking World at $80, ain't nobody showing up. You already fucked yourself. So what they're going to have to do is actually start tiering prices. And they kind of do this now sometimes, but you don't always see it consistently. But Nintendo, you're not going to sell me a non-mainline Zelda story like these Calamity weird battle things that you sell, that you develop with a third party. I'm not showing up to that for $80. I'm going to tell you that right now. Not going to happen. I'm not even showing up to it for 50 or so, the $60 now. Now, when I see those games for $40, they get a little interesting to me. And they do happen that way because it's a third-party developer that Nintendo worked with.
Yeah.
They'll drop their prices.
Also, I
everything else is going to be Black Friday purchases for me when it comes to the Nintendo games. I'll just wait.
I just wanted to make sure I bring this up for a lot of people too. Like, if you apply inflation year in and year out, it has gone up tremendously because there is a lot of things that apply to that. I'm not trying to make that the discussion. It's just a lot of people have just kind of forgotten about that. Like, in 1985, your dollar went and got way more use out of it than if you had a dollar now. If that makes sense. So, like, back then, like, gas was maybe $3 a gallon. Gas now, it's a lot more money for a gallon, isn't it? There's just way more different applicable means to all of this than, well, games cost this much back in the day and this and this. And it's like, that's just disingenuous as hell. It's like, there's two major reasons why games cost what they cost back then versus what they cost now. And I think people would be okay with paying these prices if the games that came out were reliable, non-buggy DLC transactions consistently, you know, because they're basically always releasing like half-ass games and then coming out with a even more better version later on, you know?
So, and to the argument of like people paying $87 for that and my opinion of it. So $87 in today money. Do you want to guess how much that game costs today?
It would be like
if 50. The market was exactly the same, nothing changed, it was still a niche, and they still didn't move nearly as many units. You know how much that game would cost adjusted for inflation? $160 a game.
Yep. It would cost way more.
So, but again, you know, I get it. People aren't going to be able to afford it. I'm there with you. I could afford it in some instances if I wanted to, but I'm not going to. I almost never pay full price for a game. I don't need to. I don't have to. I'll buy it used if I really
I just want to tackle on to your point.
I'll just wait for used.
I just want to tackle on to your point because I think even though Nintendo's going to do this, and I know there's going to be a lot of people going to buy these games, the problem with this is like, given how the economy has went for a lot of people, given how certain states have been ran by retarded leftist Democrat governors, especially California, the average person isn't going to be able to afford these $80, $90 games. They aren't. Nope. But like you said, if you can't afford them, you need to find angles and avenues to be able to afford them. Like, people know there's a thing called a secondary market. There's eBay, there's Amazon, there's Facebook Marketplace. There's places to buy some of this stuff way cheaper. It's like that average argument of like, but a PC is blah, 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 blah. It's like, you don't have to buy everything up front for a PC. You could just buy the parts individually or just buy it at once and then just get the value out of it. Also, the other argument I want to bring up in a lot of this is people that say things like that, this whole like price argument to how much time you'll actually have with the game. So if you buy a game that is $80, let's say Grand Theft Auto 6 coming out and it's going to be $90 with tax $100 anyway. If you play that game for 10 years, you have gotten way more value out of that in your $100. So the $100 you paid for went for 10 years. Because my problem with the argument that people are giving, dude, is like they're just thinking of it as a one-time transaction. It's like, yeah, it's a one-time transaction for a game you're going to have access to for 10 plus years. Come on, guys, before they ever make a Switch 3, which is going to be in 2035, and your kids will probably be like teenagers and adults, they'll be out of the house by then. You've gotten way more time out of that game. Okay. This argument now that people go, well, I paid $80 for a game. Yeah, you're going to play it for like 5-6 years. I'm pretty sure you got the max amount of worth of value out of that. Now, I agree about the DLC transactions and the buggy mess. I agree with all that stuff. But that doesn't...
And that's what I'm saying, dude.
Yeah.
If Bethesda drops whatever the fuck that outer space game of theirs was, you know, at a price point like that, nobody's showing up.
That's why
Like
Game Pass subscriptions are gone up through the roof now.
that's what you're going to wind up seeing, and that's even more fucking unfortunate because that's what they're really pushing people into is fucking
GameFly,
subscription
Game
console
Pass, yeah.
subscription models
Oh,
and the
Microsoft
death of
does
physical
Game Pass
media.
now. All Microsoft is just a Game Pass company. Yeah, we have Game Pass. That's it. You want to get Game Pass? You want to butt fuck me, but you can get Game Pass? Oh my God, Microsoft. But Razor Fist, who was simping for Melanie Mac, that retarded thought, said this: video game prices haven't kept pace in 30 years. You're not mad at $80. You're not mad games are $80. You're mad that your $80 isn't worth dick. This guy always tries to sound smarter than he is. I hate when he types like this. No shit, Sherlock. You're not saying anything new. We knew this for a while, that our money isn't going to the value. And so am I. Government is stealing the money you have sitting in the bank right now through the only tax no one gets to vote on, inflation. Like, I understand what he's saying.
Like I said,
but
you adjust all that shit for inflation. Those games are $160 fucking dollars in today money. And that's what I don't know why he had to say it that way. Just be like, this is how much games cost in 1995. This is how much that 1995 money is actually worth today. And be done with it. There you go. Let's shut down the argument right there. It's like, yes.
Because he always says
now
that
a premium.
It's so cringe.
And it's still cheaper than when it was a niche. But yes, Nintendo's console and the games on it are going to be a luxury item.
Yeah.
You don't need it. You don't have to have it. You already have a fucking Switch. You want to save money on games? I've spent less money on games on the Steam Deck than any console I will literally ever own. Why? I already bought most of them on my fucking PC.
Yeah.
Just get a Steam Deck if that's all you need. And there's great shit, dude. You can play Hades, the game you just saw today, Hollow Knight, all of that shit. That shit's already on Steam. Tons of this third-party stuff already lives in Steam. Go play it there. It's on the Steam Deck. You can have it right now with 512 gigs of storage in it.
Mm-hmm. Also,
ready to go, man.
This person summed up how I thought too. If the games were high quality, complete, physical with no downloads needed, few no bugs, no day one DLC, no microtransactions, provided at least 40 hours of playtime, I'd probably be okay with $80 to $90 games. Yeah, that's my argument. If the games were coming out
40 is not enough,
basically
dude.
all of that, then it's fine.
$90. You've got to give me like 80 hours of playtime.
Yeah, because the hours of gameplay have dropped.
It.
Yep. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Give me 80 hours of playtime. I want 100% it. I want to have to at least invest 80 hours, and then it's worth it. You give me $1 an hour of value, and then we'll talk about it. Yeah, sure. But again, not doing the microtransactions, no DLC bullshit, none of this crap. Like if I paid that much for a game, if I actually bought a game at that price tag point, I'm not buying shit else for it. Nope, not happening. I'm done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like that's the other thing too. You're going to see people more apprehensive about spending on the digital shit because they're going to raise the prices of DLCs. They're going to raise the prices of the stupid microtransaction shit. And you're going to see people not engaging in it as much.
Though.
It's just the way it is. That's the nature of the market.
I know PlayStation and Xbox have gone through that bullshit consistently. Correct me if I'm wrong. Outside of Nintendo's scummy shit they've done with Power World recently, a lot of other bullshit they did. Have they ever had those problems that the other two consoles? Because I think I'll say this. I think people are projecting those problems that Xbox and Sony do on Nintendo. I don't think Nintendo's ever had those real issues, honestly.
The only one I'd ever heard of is that Scarlet and Violet are not are hard on the Nintendo hardware. I've heard that they're buggy, can be problematic, but it really has to do with the fact that the game is almost too intense for the console unless you're playing it in docked mode where it's constantly being powered. And
that's
you notice
that's more of a hardware thing than the actual game not being buggy or
exactly.
Anything. I don't know Nintendo to be this
cool now.
I don't know Nintendo to be this like buggy DLC day one.
I've never seen anything with the legitimate real world experience that you can see and repeat with a Nintendo game ever. I've just heard that Scarlet and Violet were not well optimized for playing on the Switch outside of dock mode.
Well, the other thing that I'll bring up here is, okay, so this might sound kind of harsh, and I know it sounds harsh, but I know you guys understand what I'm saying. So you can afford the console. If I literally could afford if I really wanted to. I could buy a day one, but I have other things I want to pay for before that. I just want to point out to people, I know that given the economy, the situation for a lot of people might be different. I understand that fully going into this next point I'm going to bring up. So I'm just going to just tell you how I feel. If you're a broke fucking loser, it doesn't matter to you. You are going to buy the console anyway. If you're, because this thing that a lot of people don't understand. If you have no money, that's not the console's fault or the company's fault. Technically, that's your fault that you have no money. That's the bad decisions you've made with managing your finances. All these people complaining about this, like, I understand there's valid reasons, and I agree with those valid reasons myself. But this notion of like, it costs so much and blah, blah, blah. Let's be honest here. You're mad you're broke. You're a fucking loser. You probably, I don't know, are paying some girls' bills, and that's the reason why. Like, your OnlyFans subscriptions have probably gone to the roof. You probably pay for Amaranth's tier 3 sub. How about this? Stop being broke, get a job, and you will have no money issues. Because I'll be honest here, when I got a job, I didn't have money issues anymore because I knew how to balance out my money, honestly. So stop being fucking broke.
I'll play the other side of that, and I'll say, all of you motherfuckers out there who are edging on getting this day one, and you're just so ready to like fucking pay it in 4, to take out a loan, to split it on 3 credit cards, like selling your mama's like car from the backyard, like you're gonna sell all your children's toys like Brooklyn Dad Defiant to buy crack, but buy a Switch 2. Put the brakes on. Black Friday is not that far away. Just wait. It's probably not going to be super cheap, but there's probably going to be some good deals, some combo packs you can get, like, and it gives you time to save your money. So put the credit cards back in your wallet, put your mom's wallet back in her purse, put her car keys up on the thing. Don't steal it and sell it for crack and Switch 2s. Don't start dealing drugs. Don't, rob the teller at work. Don't mug anybody.
Don't sell your wife's Louis Vuitton.
Exactly. Don't do any of that shit.
Sell her
and
underwear.
Just wait. Because guess what? You don't really you don't need it day one. You don't even need it month 1.
Wait a minute.
Motherfucker, I will tell you right now.
There's PayPal Pay in 4. You could just pay it off over time.
Yeah, you could, but dude, even if you're going to pay it in 4, fucking just wait 4 months till Black Friday and get a good deal on it, or wait until it hits used. It's gonna hit used quicker than you think. Like it's going to. You're gonna find them. You're gonna see it. Is it gonna be super cheaper? No, but it's probably gonna be 50, 60, 70 bucks off. Get it used. Just put your dick back in your pants. You don't need to edge to it. If you're not a game streamer, you're not writing it off, there's nothing that you're losing by waiting on it, because this console is going to be here, like MSK said, for like a fucking decade. And right away, you know what's going to happen? We're going to get the release titles.
Yeah.
And then it's going to drop off a cliff until about Christmas. And then next year, when all the other developers have caught up and they've been able to gauge what the interest in the console sales are, you're going to see more developers showing up. You're going to see Nintendo's real stuff start coming out. I mean, we get Donkey Kong and Mario Kart, but again, those are going to cost the same day one that they will 2 years from now. So wait on it, sit on it. You don't have to have it day one. If you can't afford it and you don't got the money for it, and this is a problem, and you're edging and you're trying to just find ways to make it happen, maybe just fucking wait on it. It's not gonna, just take a break.
It's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, exactly, dude. It's gonna be there for fucking
I shit you not, the Switch 3 is coming out in like 2036 minimum.
Yeah, I know, right? It's gonna be here forever, dude.
You guys be retired. You might be
dead before the next console hits.
The kids will literally be actual adults, finished with school by then.
Exactly, bro. All of that.
Keep on what can happen in a decade. You could get a better job. You could get a raise. Plenty of things and opportunities and doors can open for you to actually buy the console. But then that goes to
the same argument I mentioned about having children and people crying that they're too broke to have kids. It's like, nah, just move up in your job. Just keep going. When you have kids, you'll feel the drive to do shit. And you'll
also let's be honest here. Most people aren't even having kids. Like by studies, people are getting married and not having kids. So what the hell are you spending your money on then? What the fuck are you? That means you're just bad with managing your money then.
Tamagotchi Plaza for $80 fucking on the Switch 2.
That's why you guys can't afford the Switch
and
2.
all the DLCs.
I got it now. That's why they can't afford their Switch 2s. They bought their girlfriend's boob jobs so they can go sleep with other dudes.
Exactly. That's where it went. But still, dude, yes, yeah. You know, if it's like a make or break, or you've got to forego some sort of like useful shit in life, cut back on your grocery bill or something. Now, if you're a fatty and you need to cut back on your grocery bill, then maybe that's an avenue for you. But if you don't, you have responsibilities, a family, just wait. It's going to be there. You don't need to pay in full. You don't need to break it up on credit cards and steal your mom's car. Just wait. It will be there. And you won't have to, like, you're not going to have to stab Karen in the Costco parking lot in Minecraft over the fact that you walked out with it and she wants it now. I gotta talk to your manager. No, you don't have to deal with any of that shit like the new console launches always are. Just go to Target when it's on the shelf and nobody cares. That's my opinion.
Like, I will say this. I know people were complaining about the price point. Well, first, just stop being fucking broke. Stop being a loser. Stop OnlyFans subscriptions. Stop your tier 3 Amaranth
just don't buy it.
Keep in mind this. You people all struggled to buy an Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 when we were in that lockdown period. You were willing to pay $500 for it. I love how people justified paying $500 for systems that apparently have no games. We were told these systems have no games, but then you're mad at Nintendo for charging $500. I'm not defending the company. I'm just saying, like, you can't justify spending $500 for one console, but then not spending $500 for another console. People were literally scalping the shit out of PS5s.
The Xbox Series X, I can agree. People aren't wrong. They do have third-party stuff for it, kind of. The reason I like the Series X is because it plays backwards nearly everything in my Xbox library. And it's a great media PC for my entertainment center. It does Dolby Vision. It does all of the fancy shit. Like it was like the Xbone X or the Xbox One X, but with those just the fine veneer. It is peak Xbox. I probably won't ever buy another one. There'll be no reason to. They've given me no reason to with this one, but I'll probably never get rid of that thing either. I'll play it till it's dead because I can put all of my games in it. I can have it work with my Windows computers and game stream to them and shit. And it just all the shit. Like it works really well as this like niche Microsoft gaming PC hub, and I can run Plex on it. Like it is peak Xbox.
I'm gonna put this out really quickly here. This is why the average woman is fucking retarded as hell and should have no opinions on shit. She says this is the Astrobot PS5 bundle. This is the one that I got, the physical version. She said this is the PS5's Astrobot bundle, $4.99. Are you the lack of self-awareness in people?
It's not the PS5 Pro though, is it?
People would justify spending $500 for this, the console that has apparently no games, but then they're having a problem with Nintendo charging almost $500 for theirs. Keep in mind, people, you know how retarded that sounds? If Nintendo sees people paying $500 for Xboxes and PlayStation consoles, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to charge more. And Nintendo actually has a lot of games attached to their console, at least. There's games people want to play out of them. So I just don't get this argument. This is actually so tone deaf, in my opinion. Like, you're justifying, well, I'll spend $500 for this console. Well, congrats. Awesome. This other one's $500 too.
I don't care about PlayStation or the Xbox really at all anymore because literally everything hits my PC now. Even the PlayStation stuff. Ghost of Tsushima is sitting in my Steam backlog that I got for $40. The director's cut
sales happen too.
With all the shit
right
waiting for me to play it. And that game is fucking beautiful. I played a little of it already. Gorgeous. Can't wait to get into it more.
Also, I just want to go over a few of these tweets really quickly. Stuttering Craig, who I met in real life, pretty cool guy. Is it just me, or does it feel like a lot of people feel betrayed in some way by Nintendo today? I don't feel betrayed at all. You buy the console, you don't.
I think they made a move in the right direction for them. I think that people are sleeping on the Dust Bloods from Soft multiplayer Souls-like game. That's huge. That's Nintendo saying, adults, we want you to play this console. We want you
Yeah.
here. We know you like our kid stuff, but we're going to give you a grown-up reason to say, I can play this here. I don't need to be on an Xbox. Boom. You know, on top of everything else. And they gave us a Donkey Kong game, a new Donkey Kong for the first time in a
And
while.
Mario Kart. And
And
the
the,
game
and the
title.
Mario Kart GTA open world.
Also, keep in mind, people keep
Valley
forgetting, if you
Race,
don't like
wild
the
thing.
new games that have come out for the Switch 2, it's backwards compatible. You can just play your other Switch games. And you can play your Pokemon games that apparently have a hard time running on the hardware.
Yeah, I bet you Scarlet and
people
Violet will probably play great on that thing.
Keep in mind, people are operating under this logic that you have to buy the newest games. You don't. You can just play the same games you've been playing for the last 10 years because it's backwards compatible. You fucking retards. You don't have to buy new shit at all. You just buy the console.
It's just new hardware with better performance.
That's it. Yeah. Or
godfully
hell, just get a Steam Deck, which you're going to pay $500 for that too. And keep in mind, Sony at one point, because John is right, Sony put out the PS3 at $600 originally. Remember that? People still bought it. Because keep in mind, people can, at the end of the day, bitch and moan about the price, but I know a lot of you guys are going to buy it. They're going to be like, damn, I really want to get this. I will say this. Well, as Savage had said before we close this video out, you can just not get it originally. You don't even have to. You can just wait, buy it cheaper on the on a third, second party marketplace. You know, that's all you have to do. Buy the games when they're on sale. They will go on sale, guys. Let's not even front there. They will go on sale. Walmart and Target will always discount these games. I'm not sure they're supposed to, but they will because they always have sales. For
I've seen
$80
Walmart
game, $50.
discounting even first party shit. So
I've seen them discount Switch games. I have them over there.
I'm saying first party Nintendo shit. I've seen them discount to clear. So
like that Batman Arkham trilogy that came out for the Nintendo Switch. That one's like, I think it retails for like $75. Walmart had it for like $50. You know, there's plenty of ways to get games, honestly. And this other notion that, you know, because if we just go off the sales data for the Nintendo Switch, you guys are going to buy this one. I just don't get why people feel betrayed. Nintendo was always going to do this. This notion that Nintendo is this like saint company that can't do no wrong. It's like, where do you guys get this logic from? I don't know where these narratives pop up. I don't know where you guys think, how or why you think the way you do. Nintendo just wants money. They don't give a fuck if you lived or died, honestly. Yeah. They don't give a fuck, you know? But they know that you will be there buying this console basically day one. Am I going to get it? I for sure am. I told you guys, I'm going to get it. I'll probably get it closer to Christmas time or into 2026, but I will get it. But I want a Steam Deck first. I want that first, honestly.
I'm going to see where I'm at. I signed up for the Nintendo eShop base model. Like, we'll let you know when you can buy it, which I'm probably, God knows when that went live today. So I'm probably thousands of people back on it. So I may get it when that pops up, but it could be a while. I'll see. Maybe I'll find it somewhere else. I don't know. Like, hey, you can come and shop for it now, and maybe I'll have picked it up. Maybe I won't. I don't know. I have no idea where I'm going to stand on it. I got a few things in the hopper in life right now that
my money's tied up a little bit.
You know? Yeah. So,
because after I get this PS5, I'll probably just save up money to get a Steam Deck next because I want a Steam Deck because it's an amazing hardware. They're really nice. So, what is your final thoughts and opinions on the details reveal for the Nintendo Switch 2?
I think that Nintendo did exactly what they needed to do to continue with their success. I think that people are sleeping on the FromSoft game. People are also sleeping on Nintendo's hopefully child-safe answer to Discord in game chat. That was cool. Like, if you don't charge me a ridiculous amount for what's going to amount to a webcam, I'm down. I'll be there for it. I'm up for grabbing it. But if you charge me like $100 for that, well, I don't know, folks. For a webcam,
like I understand.
If I could just use my Elgato face cam, cool. But if I have to buy the Nintendo one and you're charging $100+ for it or more, I'm gonna skip it. Thanks.
Yeah, because I know they're gonna have that they have this inbuilt thing of like streaming or whatever, where you could like hang out with their friends.
That's game chat.
That whole like, what is it called? Is that webcam dock thing they have, or what the fuck it's called? See, that I understand. I understand being angry about it because they're just now price gouging you. Now they're just being greedy.
Well, I don't know how much that thing is going to cost. They tell me that
it's
thing
going to cost at least
$70.
It's going to cost at least $60-$70. You know that.
If it's $60 and it's a good cam, then all right. That's what a good webcam. I spent more than that on the Elgato that's sitting up here. And it's probably going to have to be at least this quality to be able to do what they were showing. So that's $60. That's a good price point. They should do that. But if I wind up paying as much or more than a Joy-Con set or a Pro controller for it, I'll skip it.
Yeah. Because I know they kind of want to basically integrate it with, like, you could hang out with your friends on Discord and easily integrate.
It's in their own game chat. It's not in Discord. You're streaming on their platform.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
That's going to be really cool.
Will you need a game
accounts have to get
capture card for it?
Approval for it. It'll probably stream the game live off of it.
That's better. That's way better than just buying a separate capture card to do it. It's always better than buying an Elgato.
That's going to be in between each other. I don't know that you'll be able to get it out to like YouTube or something, though. That's the real question that I haven't seen anything on. Like, good, you can talk to each other inside the software. Can I get this software out to a game stream, or are you dumping it into a capture card from the system? I mean, yeah, that's what you don't know.
But yeah, as for me, I think it also enhances the Switch too, because if you have basically Sony and Microsoft doing less console exclusive games on their console and having them cross-gen over with the Switch 2. And keep in mind, when the PS6 and the next Xbox consoles come out or get revealed in 2026, 2027, that only enhances the Switch, because the Switch always had this fault of like, well, I kind of like all of these titles over here. Why would I go over here? Well, if those titles are now on the Switch, guys, that only just enhances their console. That actually just gives them a boost, because now you're like, well, I don't have to buy a separate console to get this one game. I can just go over here and buy it on the console I already own. So, yeah, the Switch 2, I will get it. I just don't know when I'm going to get it, but I am. Because I definitely will have use for it, because I do like a lot of the games they have, especially for the next Smash Bros. Game. I mean, the next Smash Bros. Game's coming out on that thing.
Yeah, we'll see what it's going to be like. I mean, they're going to have one. I haven't seen anything about it yet.
Do you imagine that now? We're going to have Smash Bros. 6 after all these many years. Holy fuck. Come a long way since the original Melee. Holy crap. But this is what they should do for Smash. I know a lot of people are going to want me to talk about the Smash thing. I would like them to just keep Ultimate and just keep putting in characters into that. You don't really need to make a new Smash game, but they will, because they're greedy and they know people are going to buy it. Yeah. Smash is very popular, but that's what they should do. But come on, guys, if you do buy a Switch 2, you don't have to buy a bunch of new games. It's backwards compatible. So the best thing about it, people should read more. How about you guys do this for me? Read more, and before you start typing on Twitter,
reading is hard.
Reading's hard.
How dare you? That sounds like bigotry.
So yeah, the Switch 2 details getting revealed had everyone basically up in a frenzy. Twitter was on fire, and I loved it. So thank you guys for checking out this video. If you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it, and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video. I am MSK, aka Master Swag King, and we're going to sign out, guys. See you guys later. Peace. All right. Before we wrap up this, before I go to my next show in a little bit here, next, are you free Sunday to review anything, or you just want to just come back on Wednesday?
I don't know. I'll have to see, dude. I'll let you know this weekend where things are at. I got some things I want to get done this weekend. I don't know what I'm going to get done, how much of it I'll be able to get done. Whoa.
Oh.
Did it cut off? No, there I am.
Just for a second. Yeah, just for a second.
Yeah, it's being weird. My system's being weird. It's getting tired.
Downloading too much porn?
No, I don't really usually need any. My system is getting tired. There we go. He's done being that way.
So who was jerking off your system? Who was doing that?
I know, right? Yeah. he's just like, oh my god, what's going on? I'm doing stream.
Oh, good lord. Now you're just out and in and out, just like when I was having
But-
sex with my wife.
Really doing that? I don't think so.
Since your internet is
I'm
collapsing
pretty
in and of itself in real time, we should probably wrap it up here just a second. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Are you gonna start doing content on your comic book channel anytime soon?
Oh God, I hope so. Sometime soon. I definitely need to get around to it. I've been very lazy about all of it, but yeah, nothing to announce on it yet. Like I said, I got a few things going on in life that I need to straighten out. I think they will soon though, and I'll know better where everything's going to be. And once that does, then yeah, we'll probably get back into that. I've been looking forward to it. Ooh.
Well, for a lot of people, depending on if we have a show on Sunday or next Wednesday. Oh, wait a minute. That's not the week. That's not the meetup weekend, is it? No, that's the following week. That's the third
The
week of
following
April.
week.
Okay, so next week, I'll have to see what we're gonna end up reviewing. Maybe we just fucking review Yaira 2 because that's the next one that. Or is Yaira 2
It's
first?
not too long. I'm
Is
about
Great War of
halfway through it or
Separation
more.
first? I think Great War of Separation is
I have
first,
no idea.
right? I don't remember honestly.
I just read that because I will tell you, it just continues after the first book, so you're not missing anything continuity wise.
Yeah.
Great War of Separation is actually a prequel to the whole universe, so I figured I can read that after because it's going to be
Okay.
set way back in the past.
I'll try to figure out what we're gonna cover this week coming up. Maybe we do depending on what I open up. Depending on what I open in my packages that you have, we'll probably just cover that. I do want to end up covering that Batman Hush story. I do, but then again, time and consumption of porn really just takes me away from everything.
True.
Oh,
and your
also,
girlfriend taking you
next
shopping.
week, maybe if we don't review anything, we'll maybe potentially experiment with doing comic book market watch live because I knew I started doing that on the Yu-Gi-Oh podcast with Chaz a long time ago. So just in case I can't do the video pre-recorded, I can do it live and then just clip it out anyway because it goes on a separate channel anyway. I haven't forgot about doing comic book market watch, guys. I just got really, really busy this week, and there's not too much coming out this week, but you know, for the industry, I remember on Thinking Critical's video, they basically revealed that Captain Marvel can't sell for shit and dies out in 2 issues, and Miss Marvel doesn't sell.
Yeah, I mean,
It's like we already knew that though. Like,
yeah, that's a decades long plus standing rule, probably 2 decades.
mhm.
Like you're never gonna get issue 25 of a Captain Marvel book.
God, man, I absolutely hate a lot of the stuff that come out sometimes. But
Oh yeah,
maybe I'll just talk to Warren and have us start Absolute Superman very soon because we're gonna finish Absolute Wonder Woman's first arc, and then we'll probably start with Absolute Superman, or maybe do Rook Exodus. Rook Exodus trade just dropped. The trade for Rook Exodus just dropped today. Yeah, so you get all the first 6 issues before issue 7 drops. Transformers, I know they're having a that massive hardcover coming out very soon. Transformers Volume 3 should be out in May, so it won't feel too long from now. Good lord.
Yep.
Also, you know, it's cool
Volume
for being
3
out there for the
too.
meetup for Comic Book Wednesday. Just get the books out there since we're already out there.
Pretty
That's
much.
what's awesome about it. That's what I did last year.
Exploring everything.
Ooh. Are you interested in getting some of the DC's finest big books?
Maybe. I'm not
Those
sure
are
yet.
good.
I've got a lot of shit to read. So I'm giving myself some room to breathe and not adding much
True.
more to my
Yeah, same
pile
here.
at this point.
There's so much here. Like, yeah, there's nothing coming out next week that's worthwhile either to a certain extent. You have Amazing Spider-Man Epic Collection, X Factor, Booster Gold, Justice League by Scott Snyder and James Tynion fourth, Omnibus Volume 1. What else you have here? Batgirl, DC's Finest, Uncanny X-Men by Gail Simone, the greatest comic book writer of all time. Well, that's
You know
pretty
what
much
I would
it.
like? You know what would be fucking really tits? If DC either went the compact comic route or That it? No. Well, this one is. But this, if they gave me a compendium of Grant Morrison's fucking Justice League. You want some of this is peak Justice League 2, man.
Ooh,
Even a
should be that.
compact comic of some of the Grant Morrison stuff or collections of it. But I'm telling you, give me a compendium of like half of his run or whatever, like one of the compendiums, like the Nightwing run. This shit was peak, dude. This is if you're a DC fan, you have to go back and read Grant Morrison's Justice League from New World Order on. Oh, dude, this shit is so good. Even today, this stuff stands up. Grant Morrison is probably the best Justice League writer we've seen. Period. That was peak Justice League, man.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, for a fan like me and my age, that was when Justice League was the best. A lot of the shit that you see today, a lot of the villains, a lot of the characterization, a lot of the story points and beats, Morrison did them first back then and did them better.
But you know what's crazy? We got to be hyped for Joe Kelly coming back to Spider-Man. Good Lord, man. What did they do to
back in the day with Dan Slott when there was 3 different writers that traded off on Spider-Man? His weren't bad, but ugh. You got the stain of the Slott era.
Did you ever finish the Masters of the Universe TMNT Turtles of Grayskull crossover? Issue 4 is dropping at the end of the month.
No, I might do it in trade. It was okay.
The book gets delayed so much.
Yeah, it seemed like it wasn't going to be consistent. When books aren't going to be consistent, I give up on them.
Yeah,
I used to give up on them, just in general. If I really wanted it, a trade would come out and I'd read it then. But just
Superman Family. Yeah, there's. I think they have JLA by Grant Morrison. Oh, they actually are going to release JLA by Grant Morrison book 2 at the end of the month. I think you have book 1. Well, they have book 1. So book 1 is 608. I'll just bring it up right here. I think you have the smaller trade, but they've been doing this things called books where they have book 1, book 2. They're doing it for Tom King, Grant Morrison, Peter J. Tomasi. This was book 1. This came out. Wait a minute. This came out last year? I didn't notice this. I would have bought this. JLA book 1 by Grant Morrison, 608 pages, $50. Damn. And they're just having book 2 come out this week. Or sorry, at the end of the month. That's awesome. Hell yeah. I'll cover this on the Market Watch.
Snyder did a Justice League 1 Totality by Scott Snyder. Don't care. The Meltzer and Ben's Justice League of America, The Tornado's Path. Justice League Year 1. I actually heard that wasn't bad. Brian Augustin, the guy who did the art, he worked at a comic book shop I used to go to. Interesting guy. It doesn't say there's All In Justice League. Where's the Grant Morrison one, though?
What else is here coming out for new books? So yeah, don't worry, guys. We're gonna have Comic Book Market Watch for you guys done very, very soon.
$41. Interesting.
At the end of the week, Ultimate Spider-Man at the end of the month. See what trades are coming out. I think they have that Power Rangers one I was really interested in. Let's see what else is here, honestly.
That's a decent collection. In all honesty, that's just a little bit more extra stuff added on to what was basically the first arc of Justice League. I didn't realize Mark Millar was in there. And then the next book they're doing is Tower of Babel. I think there's a bit in between those, but that's just a
Comic Book Day coming up. Oh, there's so much stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So anything else you want to let the audience know about before we head out?
Nah. Have a good week, everybody.
Yeah, have a good week. As for me, I have plenty of content coming out for you guys, so you don't have to worry about that at all. Make sure you guys go and fuck some gooses or geeses or mice. Joking. What you guys could do is take your kids to go see the Minecraft movie. The Minecraft movie might even bomb harder than Snow White. And it's always Warner Brothers doing it. Like Disney will put out a complete bomb, and then Warner Brothers releases one after that, and it bombs even harder. I don't know why they keep doing that. They're like,
I don't know, dude. I think Minecraft will do better than Snow White. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be hard, bro. Worse than the Dragon Ball movie, guy. Worse.
Okay, so the Snow White movie ended week 1 worldwide with $80 million. So as long as Minecraft, it's $89 million.
I think Minecraft is going to do okay. I don't think they're going to be as wildly successful as they hope. The toys are going to sell because it's Minecraft, not because of the movie. Even though even kids are kind of making fun of Jack Black as Steve. Like, bro, did he eat Steve? Like, what happened? So, but I think it'll do okay.
Cast, dude. Jack Black, Jason Momoa, and that fat black bitch from Peacemaker. She did a great job in Peacemaker. I didn't think she was that bad, but she looks so out of place in that cast. That looks like such a most ass, no synergy cast ever. But all right. So thank you guys for checking out this episode of the MSK Show.